dodge bullets, baby.
This is beyond fairy tale. It's inconceivable.
There it is. Doyle's done it. This is the greatest tournament in the world.
The wait is over.
You walk in the first day, and it's like no other tournament.
Yes!
It's the mother of all poker events. The one that the world looks at.
Come on.
I always get excited about one event, the main event.
The time is now.
Oh my God.
This is the main event, and tonight 6,358 players begin their quest for a hallowed place in poker history.
The main event is just like unbelievable, because that's how you make your name.
He's our new world champion.
Johnny Chan has Joseph Hashem standing.
Dewey wins the tournament.
It's where great players will be measured 50 years from now, 100 years from now.
Hellmuth wins the championship.
I'm not sure it really can get more special.
If you're a great player, you maybe can have one shot during your lifetime to win that main event.
Rich with history, the main event is also the richest in sports. Over $8 million is on the table for someone to seize. The question is
I
who?
mean, somebody's got to win it, right? So why not you? Or me?
If you win that, you're called world champion of poker.
Nothing compares to it.
Yes!
The main event. One title.
I'm alive!
One bracelet.
Back it up! Come on, baby.
One future champion. Welcome to the main event of the World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
I'm playing in the World Series of Poker, baby. Ready to go.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lon McCarran, along with Norman Chad, and the most anticipated day in poker has arrived.
This one's mine.
It's going to be me at the final table, baby.
6,358 very excited
Main event winner this year, baby. Taking it all down.
and colorful characters
Here we go.
have invaded the world's largest poker room for this unparalleled spectacle. They've all come, including some of the game's top pros
I've warned them not to mess with me.
and Hollywood's brightest stars. All walks of life are here to fulfill the fantasy of playing with the world's best.
Mom, I'm playing with Johnny Chan.
Someone will walk into this Rio poker room dreaming the impossible, but walk out with $8.25 million and the most coveted prize in poker. And Norman, what could be more thrilling than to sit down and see Doyle Brunson at your table on day one?
Doyle Brunson at the main event. Does it get any better?
10-time bracelet winner, one behind Phil Hellmuth as we stand right now.
Well, is Phil humble now that he's won his 11th?
No, I'm afraid not. No, they put Phil in the Hall of Fame yesterday, too. He was really floating around.
Did they really? Did they?
Yeah. Which deserved, I think.
Doyle certainly deserved to go into the Hall of Fame in 1988. Barbara Enright joined Hellmuth in the Hall of Fame this year, becoming the first woman ever.
Blind start at 50 and 100 on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam. 9-8 of diamonds for Doyle Brunson. He makes the call. Doyle played in the very first World Series of Poker. Frank List from Holland is playing in his first World Series of Poker. And he makes the call. Next in line is David Garbaz with Ace-King. The buy-in is still 10 grand, but all players begin with 20,000 chips this year. Garbaz is going to raise it to 800.
And boy, that guy on the right looks like an avatar character in a poker video game.
Raised back to Doyle Brunson. And Doyle will commit the extra 700 onto List, and he will give it up.
So as usual, Doyle will go heads up with someone a bit younger than him.
Garbaz with the Ace-King versus 9-8 for Doyle, and there are 2 8s in the flop. Wow, a nice flop for Doyle Brunson.
And Doyle looks like he's just sitting out on the front porch waiting for the milk truck.
He will slow play his trip 8s. Garbaz is going to bet 1,000.
Garbaz has nothing but garbage, but he's going to pretend like he's got something.
You think he can bluff Doyle Brunson? Doyle with a check raise to 3,000.
You know, Doyle's been playing for so long, it's possible he's played this exact hand with these exact cards at this exact flop, maybe 47 times before.
With Ace-King, Garbaz will give it up, and that'll teach him to go up against the king.
It's an honor to play with you, sir. It's an honor to play with you.
Here's that every day, so you got to do something else.
I so wanted to re-raise him there.
So David Garbaz showing some respect for Doyle, and Brunson setting the tone early on at this featured table. Norman, nobody can attest to the growth of poker better than Doyle Brunson. After all, when he won his back-to-back main event titles in 1976 and 77, he outlasted 56 people combined. It's a far cry from this year's field of 6,358.
Texas Doyle likes to joke that back in the day, he liked his odds of making the final table because he started at the final table. Well, you'd have to combine all the main event entries from 1970 to 2003. That's 34 years to equal this year's. So, how do you like your odds now, Dolly?
Doyle Brunson and the main event are a big part of each other, but Doyle's not the only champion present who adorns the walls at this great poker room. There is a man who won it the year after Doyle's back-to-back run, the '78 world champ and Vegas legend Bobby Baldwin.
Bobby Baldwin is president of Bellagio, and it is in Bobby's room, named for him, that Doyle and the gang play the big game.
So while Baldwin collects some chips early on, we move elsewhere in this poker room. Not all champions are as widely recognizable.
What do you call you?
They call him the '96 world champ Huck Seed.
Turn around.
See on the wall there?
Doesn't have your name up there, though.
Up on the wall.
Yeah, probably wishing he didn't ask who Huck was now.
Huckleberry Seed. Sam.
Nice meeting you, sir.
Huckleberry Seed has family members by the names of Caraway, Apple, and Cottonseed. That is the truth.
And there is a very recognizable two-time world champ, Johnny Chan, the '87-'88 back-to-back champ. Chan with pocket aces going against journeyman pro Steve Jacobs, who was on flush and straight draws going to the river, and the river card brings a flush to Jacobs. Chan checks.
Johnny came to the United States from China at age 9. He was the first foreign-born player to win the main event.
Jacobs moves all in for his last 8,200. Johnny's leery.
Can Chan get away from the aces? You see so many strange faces here, you don't know if they've made a hand or they're making a move.
And Johnny will commit the chips and see that his aces were cracked by the flush of Jacobs.
That was an ugly flop for Jacobs to play through.
I can't help that.
So many bullets to dodge in this large main event field, a field so large, in fact, that they have had to split the 6,358 players into 4 separate sessions. But an early stumble for Johnny Chan. Back to our featured table.
Lon, I love the crush of unwashed humanity at this main event.
Doyle Brunson with King 10 offsuit. And Doyle reaching for chips. He's going to raise it. You see it says raise 700. That means Doyle has raised it up to 700. Frank List now. Jack 10 offsuit. And he will make the call.
Lon, we have nearly 6,400 people playing in this main event, plus this poker video game character. I know him.
That's Andrew Cohen from Las Vegas in reality. So Brunson and List heads up to the flop, and the flop is 10. Jack. List flops a full house. Wow.
I'm not sure that's the same poker face Texas Dolly has, and Doyle always looks that way.
Doyle got a pair of 10s, and he checks it. What a story List is going to have to tell his poker buddies back home, mixing it up with a great Doyle Brunson.
You mentioned the pair of 10s for Doyle. This is a dangerous hand for him.
List about 1,000, and Doyle made the call.
I really wish he'd look to his left. He might pick up something.
5 of clubs. Doyle drawing dead now. The full house is best for List. You see the check mark indicating that. And they both check.
They're both checked. List getting a bit tricky here on Texas Dolly.
It's a deuce of hearts on the river. And now Doyle's going to bet 1,500.
Doyle decides it's safe to bet thanks to List's cagey check on the turn.
And List says it's safe to raise, makes it 4,000 to play.
Maybe List read Super System, Doyle's a seminal poker instructional book.
Doyle trying to get a read on these newcomers. Will pay for the information, and List turns over his winning full house.
Wow. Doyle knows how to react to a bad read and a beat.
Oh, there's no, yeah, there's one.
It's tough to get applause, Frank, when you beat the fan favorite.
The 2007 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, your best bet for great taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by Degree Men, more power than you need, one day you'll need it, and Harris Entertainment. Pre-register for next year's WSOP now at worldseriesofpoker.com.
The World Series of Poker is not only about great poker, it's about great color, which has become a signature of day one.
Woo! I'm back.
Some very interesting choices out there when it comes to dress style for many players, including some of the pros like young phenom Alex Jacob and his retro fro.
I'd give him a comb, but it would just get lost somewhere in there.
And also this year's poker fool, Jeffrey Madsen, who lost a bet with Joe Seabach, is not looking too happy about his punishment.
You know how they say one day you're chicken, the next day you're chicken feathers? This is worse. I would have left town under the cover of darkness.
One guy with plenty to be smiling about, Elliot Lesra, a great World Series. He won his first bracelet.
This is the book to read about poker, guys.
It's his good friend Barry Greenstein's poker guide.
Barry, I'm learning a little bit. It's okay doing the...
It's too lucky. Give it back. That's my good luck.
Okay, but I'm trying to pick up something over here. I'm losing.
Don't believe it. He's got a shot at winning a whole lot of money, even if he doesn't win the main event.
I remember talking to Doyle and Chip, and they said it's going to be easy to win a World Series bracelet. And I said, there's no way. You guys are out of your mind.
We all picked some different players.
And Elliot Lazara decided that he was going to just book everybody's bets.
I got Doyle Bronson, I bet him $50,000. I got Todd Bronson for $50,000. Chip Reese for $50,000, and Doyle bet on Chip Reese for another $50,000. Barry Greenstein for $100,000. Chip and Doyle bet $50,000 on Barry Greenstein also.
It's a hard thing to win these bracelets.
With David Benjamin for $50,000, Gus Henson, Phil Ivey, Daryl Dickin, Brendan Adams, and if nobody wins, I can win $600,000, by the way.
And that is the smile of a man who's about to win $600,000. He can get himself a real nice shave.
Norman Doyle actually paid Ellie $15,000 to get out of that bet when he realized what a grind it was going to be to give himself a chance to win.
Have you had a lot of cashes and final tables and stuff?
One final table.
Final table, yeah?
I guess 3 cashes. I didn't.
Oh, that's right. You cashed the same time the other day. What was it?
I didn't really play that many tournaments.
Yeah, why would you play that many tournaments, Doyle? It's just the World Series. There's another one next year.
He did finish 6th in the Pot Limit Omaha World Championship.
Lon, I wait all year for the main event, partly because I have no life, but mostly because it's the main event.
Paul Begum.
$250.
With ace-8 of hearts. I don't think you can raise $250.
You got to make it $400 minimum.
He was trying to raise, I think. Didn't put in enough.
It's double, right?
Well, they're going to allow him just to make a call.
Doyle's wondered what kind of amateurs we got here. There is William Franchishine, born in California, lives in Bangkok, Thailand. He has ace-jack offsuit, and he will make the call.
Is he on the lam?
He limps in from the small blind. Doyle checks his option.
I just checked with the Elias Sports Bureau. That's the 14,893rd time Doyle has checked the big blind in his career.
3 to the flop. Couple of trays and an 8. Begum and Brunson hit their 8, but Begum's got top kicker. Franchishine missed the flop, and he checks. Doyle checks.
Was playing very passive today.
Begum.
700.
Pair of 8s, and top kicker is going to make it 700.
Because I'm curious what you had.
Franchishine folded, and Doyle Brunson will make the call.
Hey, Doyle, you know, curiosity killed the cat, you know.
You're right.
Turn card, 5 of spades. No help to Doyle.
Check.
You know, it's curious. If Begum raised pre-flop, which I think he was trying to do, Doyle would be out of this hand and saving money.
Begum's going to see how curious Doyle is. Makes it 600. Doyle makes the call.
Geez, Doyle's become a calling station.
So these two go to the river. Begum with the advantage, the 2 pair, and the ace kicker. And it's a king of hearts on the river. Begum with a check mark. Doyle checks. Check, check. Doyle's lost again.
The ace got me.
I'm telling you, I'm going to have to go down there and give Doyle a little remedial lesson in power poker. And that would be embarrassing for both of us.
But Doyle is not smiling now after taking another hit to his stack. All right, let's move from this featured table to our other featured table that we will call Table 2, where the fans can get up close to the action. And it seems that upside-down shades are in vogue, and that's because Marcel Lusk is in town, but who knows for how long he's all in.
Marcel already has packed away his shades in his shades satchel. Boy, Marcel travels light.
If I go like this.
Marcel with pocket 9s against 3 other players. Here we go to the flop. It is 9-9-4. Marcel with quad 9s.
He will survive his all-in.
So left to right, James Calderaro, Brian Johnson, Omid Jalili playing for a possible side pot. They all check it to the turn. Turn card 7 of spades. Calderaro leads for the side pot with a pair of 6s.
Marcel finished 14th in the main event in 2003, 10th in the main event in 2004.
Just stretching my legs, guys. Don't start to smile already.
He's not going anywhere.
They all check it to the river. River card is a king, and Jalili comes up with a pair of kings. But Calderaro and Johnson check it.
Marcel's just dying to show his quads.
He is, isn't he? Jalili comes in with 1,000. Calderaro has a pair of sixes. He's next to act. He'll make the call. Johnson folds. Time to show. Jalili shows his kings for the side pot.
I got 2 pair.
2 pair of nines.
The old I've got 2 pair routine.
Marcel Lusk takes the main pot. Jalili takes the side pot. Lusk very short on chips, but will hang around for a little while longer.
That was a good acting job getting up and moving.
This is the greatest tournament in the world.
The main event.
That's how you get balls, baby.
Where singular moments become lasting memories.
Bring them all on.
All you can eat, baby.
Stressful or joyous, it's always all good here because this is the World Series of Poker. I'm sure plenty more memories await us this year, and maybe something good in the main event will happen for Marco Traniello.
7 cashes in the World Series for Marco in 2005, 4 cashes in 2006, and 3 final tables here in 2007. And you know what, Lon? Even when he folds, he still looks good. Is he married?
Yes, to Jennifer Harmon. You might remember her.
Oh.
He's having a rough time, though, building his stack today against the competition. One guy who knows how to make himself and everyone around him feel good is actor Brad Garrett.
I like this. I'll just pass it on. Damn.
His partner in crime for many years, Ray Romano, though, taking things a little more seriously. He throws in a chip. Action to Kenny Rund. He makes the call. They go to the river.
Everybody doesn't love Raymond at the poker table. It's every man for himself here, pal.
Kenny Rund. He's going to check it over to Romano.
All in.
Who moves all in.
Kenny doesn't know what to do. We don't know what Ray has. How do you play poker against a comedian? They don't even know the suits.
Will you show if I fold, Ray? Say that again? Will you show if I fold? Yeah, I'll show you.
Looks like Kenny's going to fold, and he shows kings for a pair of kings.
You're not going to like me, though.
And Romano turns over 7-6. He wins it on a bluff.
Did you guys get that? That's one. Just once. That's the only time. Come on.
So run done in by the brazen bluff of Ray Romano.
Woo, take my pulse.
Ray, along with his buddy Brad Garrett, do employ some very unorthodox poker strategies.
Everything that works in sex, I'm going to do at the table. No eye contact. I'm going to apologize a lot. And every once in a while, I'm going to say, "Where'd you go?"
See, I believe in the eye contact. Actually, sometimes I'll take off my glasses and I'll go.
I like to stare down people who are out of the hand and just try to figure out what they would have had. Yeah, I did that with the wonky eye. We're gonna have a side bet. Who lasts longer?
$2,000.
All right.
$2,000. I last longer than you.
All right.
Okay, so you'll
to each charity.
right. And you know what? My charity is.
Yeah.
Little people in the circus. They're still shooting them out of cannons. And I know you don't want to talk about that right now, but they. My mom was the seamstress for the human fly.
I can't believe this.
No, you can't on ESPN. Can you drop the F-bomb on ESPN?
No, you bleep it out. You put a.
Oh, bleep it out. They cut everything out. Then they'll show us holding hands at a gift shop.
Hey, Ray, this is a family show. And by the way, the gift shop is down the hall and to the right.
Ray's not looking for the gift shop. He's looking to check in on his buddy Brad Garrett.
What's happening, Brad?
Oh, you decided to come over and help me.
You're not allowed to do that.
We're not allowed to do that.
One player per hand, usually.
We're not allowed to do that. Do you have a set?
I can't tell you that.
All right, I'm going to call it. I'm calling
Brad
it.
turned his hand over. There's another card to come.
I'm not going over.
Brad, a bit mistake-prone in this hand.
No, wait, I'm calling it.
No, but there's still a card left, all right?
Well, they decide just to check it down. No more betting.
Puppy toe!
He got the flush.
Puppy toe.
Oh, sorry, 5 puppy toes.
I don't think that is allowed. I know that shouldn't be allowed.
Yourself money on that by showing your cards.
Go away, Ray. Everybody gets a rub on Ray Romano, so just everybody gets a rub.
Nice of Brad to be spending Ray's money. And with help from the KFC Snacker Cam, let's head back across this huge Rio poker room and get back to the featured table where we find Doyle Brunson.
You know, I tried to talk to Doyle during the last commercial break to help him, and he acted like he didn't even know me.
Ace deuce of diamonds. Brunson makes the call for Frank List, king 8 of diamonds. And List will limp in as well to David Garbaz with pocket 7s. Garbaz just makes the call. Cohen gets out of the way. Action over to Paul Begum now. 9-4 off suit. 200 to him. And he will call.
Wow, 9-4 offsuit calls. Welcome to the World Series main event.
Ace-6 of hearts for Jeffrey Lowenhar.
It's a bargain.
That is a bargain. For just 100, he gets, what, like 11 to 1 on his money.
Franchishine from the big blind. 10-6. He checks his option.
You know, Lon, if you spill your coffee onto the screen, we won't be able to see anything.
6 to the flop, and it is deuce, 10, jack, 2 diamonds. Franchishine pairs is 10, pair of deuces, and nut flush draw for Doyle.
And List also gets a flush draw, but it's not as good as Doyle's.
Lowenhar checked, Franchishine checked, Doyle.
Here comes Doyle. I think our little talk's going to pay off.
Well, he bets 600, trying to thin the field a little bit, but List is going to come along with the weaker flush draw. Garbaz with a pair of 7s also calls the 600. The Begum is gone. Lowenhar is gone. Franchishine is gone.
He had the best hand.
Yeah. 3 to the turn now. Turn card now is another 10. Franchishine missed out on trips. Brunson checks with a pair of deuces. Lista will bet his king high and second best flush draw.
Well, List is the one playing Super System Power Poker here. And again, the best hand folds. Garbaz mucked.
The raise back to Doyle. He'll commit the 1,300. Doyle with the best hand with a 2 pair. And it's a 9 of spades on the river. Doyle Brunson gets the check mark. And he checks it.
You got to bet again, Frank.
And he checks.
I expect you got it, Frank.
Oh, you got to bet again, Frank. Now I've got to talk to him.
You didn't want a diamond, did you?
Wow. I should have bet.
Yes, you should have, Frank. And now you hear the applause, but it's all for the 10-time World Series bracelet winner, Doyle Brunson.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Back inside the Rio, where a new record was set with almost 55,000 total entries in the World Series this year, but only one can be Player of the Year, and that person is Tom Schneider, who edged out a very tough crowd to earn this year's title.
Former main event champion Scotty Wynn and Phil Hellmuth both had a shot at that Player of the Year title.
And there is the relatively unknown poker pro Schneider, who had a great series of bracelet events trying to extend that run here into the main event. He is proof that if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
This year, I told my wife that this is going to be my year to decide whether I'm going to continue playing poker or just do something else in business. And I told her I really want to make a run at Player of the Year. And really, that was a pretty unrealistic goal because I had never even won an event before. In the past, I hate to say I've been a quitter, but I've given up in tournaments. And I came here and said, I'm not going to give up ever in a tournament. I'm going to play my hardest, and it's going to be a struggle for anybody to get money away from me. That's the way I'm going to play every event and see how that works for me. Having won 2 events, it really provides a feeling that what I'm doing is right. So I expect bigger things. It's that way in life. I think if you really want something and you continue to pursue it, you'll get it.
A friend of mine played with Tom Snyder this year at the World Series and said he didn't see a single misstep from the guy all day. He's a very well-deserved player of the year.
Schneider right now in a hand with Patrick Gelinas, a history teacher from Maryland. Looks like Tom deciding what to do right now on the river. And he is going to push out a bet of $6,500 now to Gelinas.
Can't beat much.
Doesn't sound like he's going to raise, Norman.
Well, if he can't beat much, he shouldn't raise.
Gelinas thinks he's got a shot and will make the call. Schneider turns over Queen Jack for the winning straight. And the author of the book, Oops, I Won Too Much Money, puts his money where his mouth is and rakes in a nice pot.
Much friendlier table.
Neither of Snyder's two bracelets came in hold'em, but he's proven he's a well-rounded player.
And by winning 2 bracelets, Tom has joined some very elite company. Believe it or not, at least one player has won at least 2 bracelets in a single year each of the last 8 years.
Chris Ferguson did it twice in 2000 and 2003. Phil Ivey won 3 bracelets in 2002.
And look at 2003, 6 of the game's greats doubled up in that year. Jeff Madsen was one of the ones who won 2 last year. Now look at him.
I'm sitting here, I had a bet with Jeff Madsen.
Liz Lou having some fun. Getting a shot for her World Series scrapbook.
Oh, I'm going to blackmail him with this.
I told him to stay away from booze, babes, and bad bets. These kids, they don't listen.
Madsen, who was briefly the youngest player ever to win a World Series bracelet, saw his record fall to this young man, Steve Bilirakis, who was 21 years, 11 days old when he won this year. Bilirakis trying to figure out what to do against Joel Gualtieri.
He's another youngster I'm trying to school, but he's headstrong.
Bilirakis getting short on chips, but all the chips go into the pot. His opponent makes the call and shows pocket aces, and that is going to do it for Bilirakis. The youngest bracelet winner's main event has come to an end.
Bracelet schmacelet. I wouldn't have made the call there. He's a bum.
So the youngest of the young winners will have to settle for only 1 World Series bracelet this year. All right, back to our feature table here. Day 1 of the main event. We've got Doyle Brunson here, and we've got a bunch of international players as well.
Lon, I have seen that guy on our World Series poker video game. I think he beat Hellmuth heads up.
Action over to Jeffrey Lowenhar with Pocket Kings.
Lowenhar says he's been playing poker 55 years. That's about half as long as Doyle.
55 years. Lowenhar's only 61 years old. With Pocket Kings, Lowenhar raised it to 600. Doyle, with ace-3 of hearts from the big blind, makes the call.
Doyle, part of the original crew, along with Amarillo Slim and Sailor Roberts, road gamblers who shared the same bankroll.
Here's our flop. Brunson and Lowenhar heads up, and Doyle pairs his ace. And he takes the lead and checks it.
Boy, Doyle is very passive today. I don't think he's read his own book.
Lowenhar with a pair of kings makes it 500, and Doyle, again, long for the call.
Thought he might have check raised there. Very passive.
Turn card, another ace for Doyle. He may be playing passively, but good things still come his way. Let's see how he plays this.
Check.
He checks it again.
Well, Doyle now will try to trap Lowenhar.
Lowenhar with Pocket Kings makes it 1,000 to Brunson.
If Lowenhar doesn't put Doyle on an ace in the pocket, then he thinks he's got the best hand.
But Doyle just calls again. Lowenhar way behind, going to the river, and the 6 of hearts gives Brunson the check mark.
Boy, Doyle checked again? You have to do your own bidding at the end.
And Lowenhar checked it also. And sees his kings come up second best. We're seeing a bit of a different Doyle Brunson tonight, but he still finds a way to get your chips.
Seems like you have a lot of fans, supporters here.
He does have a lot of supporters, plus Doyle's got a much better grip on this game than I do, so I'm just going to leave him be.
All right, let's take a first look at our E-Trade tournament ticker. With such a large starting field, the prize pool is nearly $60 million. First place this year, $8.25 million. To table 2 and Marcel Lusk.
Well, we knew we had the big hand.
Marcel still short on chips, but he moves all in. His ace-king, though, has run into the pocket aces of Aryeh Streisfeld.
No, I knew we had the big hand. But it's the biggest hand I had till now, I think.
Tell you what, Marcel.
But sometimes...
Just take out your sunglasses and put them on upside down. You'll be fine.
The flop now, 3 cards that add up to 0 for Marcel Lusk.
Well, I still got winner.
And you've still got style, Marcel.
7 of clubs on the turn will end it. Marcel Lusk drawing dead and eliminated.
It was a pleasure. Be good. Now you behave. Thanks for taking me out painless.
Style, grace, character. Marcel's got it in spades.
So Stra Eastfeld knocks out one of the more popular players in the game. Marcel goes out quietly on day one. It will be a much less melodious main event without Marcel Lusk.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Back inside the Rio on the KFC Snacker Cam, you can see the huge field, and that will mean thousands of emotional highs and lows will take place. Nobody exempt, even Ray Romano, who's all in and behind, but sucks out on the river to crack his would-be executioner's aces.
Geez, Ray might be the richest man in this room today. Why is he sucking out on poor poker players?
Boy, you suck out again?
I did. Oh, you wouldn't believe it.
On the river?
On the river.
Go back, go back. Are you out?
Yeah.
Serious tearing. Is he out?
No.
Now look at him. Healthy. Call me.
Ray and Brad both won Emmys for their roles as dysfunctional brothers on Everybody Loves Raymond, the TV show. Looks like things aren't too different in real life. Poker pro Marco Traniello was also part of a duo, one half of the first couple of poker.
I thought we were the first couple of poker.
No, that would be Marco and his wife Jennifer Harmon. But these two aren't just a couple anymore. They've doubled up.
Parenting is a 50-50 kind of work.
Come on.
You get the one with the largest mouth, eh? Lucky enough that I don't have a regular job, so I can be there as much as my wife.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, as Marco's a father, he's a 10.
Sleep went completely away. They keep me up a lot. My priority changed completely.
We usually just stay home and take care of babies. I think I played 6 or 7 times before the World Series started in 8 months. So that's not a lot of playing poker. He wants to have more. I'm thinking about it.
Well, right now they're thinking of adding a main event bracelet to the household. And geez, what do those babies do home alone all day?
There again is Johnny Chan still fighting an uphill battle. Chan moved all in with ace-king after the flop. David Harrison, though, leads with a pair of 10s, poised to knock off the 10-time bracelet winner.
Johnny, the last repeat champion of the main event.
Turn card now, 7 of spades, Chan with a flush draw.
Few more outs for Johnny. He can now stay alive with an ace or a spade.
River card, 10 of diamonds, and trip 10s for Harrison means the end of Johnny Chan.
And there will be no third main event title for Chan and no 11th bracelet.
He cashed 3 times this year with no final tables.
He's a class act. I mean, he's one of the few class acts.
It was 1992 when Johnny last cashed in the main event. Again, it'll be wait till next year. Back now to our featured table and another class act and another 10-time bracelet winner, Doyle Brunson. And on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, Doyle with ace-king offsuit.
You know, I believe Doyle sleeps and showers with that hat on. And he continues to play small ball here. He's not aggressive, avoiding big pots.
Limps in for 200. David Garboz with pocket jacks. And he's going to raise it up to 1,200.
That's a big raise. That was 6 times the big blind.
A lot of action folding behind with that big raise. And now it's back to Doyle, who needs 1,000 to call.
All in.
And Doyle is going to re-raise all in.
And I'm wrong again. Doyle not avoiding the big pot here. This would push Garboz all in.
And with pocket jacks against Doyle Brunson, what do you do? Garboz, a decision for his tournament life.
I'll call.
And he will call and put himself at risk. This is the degree all-in moment.
Brunson trying to punch out Garboz. In 1998, the year Rounders came out, Matt Damon played in the main event, and Doyle knocked him out that year.
You got to play a pot sooner or later anyway. What's that? I say you got to play one of these pots sooner or later.
Garboz looks like he'd rather play it later than sooner.
So a key confrontation at this featured table. Doyle in for most of his chips. Garboz in for all of his. The flop has a king, and Doyle grabs the lead right away.
And that's why you try to avoid these races for all your chips early on. You either double up, in this case to about 20,000 chips, which is your starting stack, or you're gone.
Garboz looks at a 10 pair of the board.
And Doyle remains in control of the hand. Garbaz is going to need a jack and a jack only, or he is gone.
River card is a 9, and that's not going to get it done. Brunson gets the degree checkmark, knocking off David Garbaz from the main event.
Unofficially, Doyle now over 140,000 knockouts in his poker career.
You have a choice between a call and not a call. If you knew he had jacks, would you want him to call or would you want him
I
to call?
really didn't. I don't know. I limped in there 2 or 3 times and he raised me. I just was tired of it.
That's the aggressive Doyle Brunson we've come to love.
The Degree All-In Moment is brought to you by Degree Men. More power than you need. One day you'll need it.
Welcome back inside the Rio Poker Room. On our E-Trade tournament ticker, you see 757 players have been eliminated. Nobody is safe in this huge field, not even Marco Traniello.
I tell you, when he gets home, that place is going to be a mess. You cannot leave infant twins unattended while you go out and try to make poker history.
So now it will be up to Marco's wife, Jennifer Harmon, to bring home a main event bracelet. Jen plays in the next session.
Nice book, buddy.
And not even Barry Greenstein's book could save Elia Lesra from going broke.
Good news is there's always next year.
Well, this year, he's still looking at another 600 grand profit when this baby is over.
Yeah, he just needs some of his friends like Barry to get knocked out. A whole new table over at table number 2. David Devilfish Uliet is taking center stage.
Devilfish first started playing seriously at age 15 when he was working at a factory that made trophies. He would take everyone's money on lunch breaks.
Early action, ace-9, and he moves all in with his last 2,650 chips. Over to Mark Cole with pocket queens.
I raise.
And he is going to re-raise it. Cole makes it 6,000 to try to kill any action behind him.
Show me a pair of eights.
We are heads up, Uliet all in.
Best stand I've seen since he said that.
Devilfish with a little gripe in him.
So Cole with his queens.
I wish this was Phil Hellmuth for this ace-9.
Chance to knock off the pro. And now the flop. It is Trey 9-10 Devilfish with a pair of 9s and a flush draw.
Got a couple of outs anyway.
Cole's queens are still in the lead.
Turn card now is another 9, and Devilfish takes the lead.
Give him the queen of clubs. No, I'm joking.
Cole needs a queen on the river to knock out Devilfish.
River card is a 6, and that makes it official. Devilfish gets off the hook, still though with a small stack.
Just when I thought it was safe to go in the water.
If that guy was a real poker fan, he'd spray that on his chest. Back to our featured table, and there is the Lucky Casper Card Protector, owned by Doyle Brunson. Doyle is sitting this hand out. Paul Begum flop trip 5s. Begum holds a big lead right now on Nick Nicolo's Jack 7. And now the turn card. Quad 5s for Begum.
And Paul's poker face needs a little work. Doyle's got the poker face you want to emulate.
Doyle does watch his opponents even when he's not in a hand. And a check from Begum.
What's you got left, Vince?
Begum's got to love to hear that.
Can I get a count, please, sir? Pardon me? Can I just get a count, please?
Begum says, yeah, I'll give you a count. I'll write the total down on a piece of paper. Are you kidding me?
Nicolo drawing dead and asking for a count on Begum. Of course, he doesn't know Begum's got 4 5s.
6,500.
Boy, 6,500 to Begum.
I'm not sure what thought process Nicolo went through to get to 6,500. Drawing dead.
I call.
He should have said, I call with pleasure.
Exactly. All right, so these two go to the river, and it's a 4 of diamonds. Begum, of course, with the quad 5s. Got to move them all, huh? He's all in.
Nicolo probably thought he could buy the pot with his jack high. He's got to be gone now.
It cost him 6,600 more.
He's got to be gone now. He's got jack high.
You got a call. Let's have a look.
Wow.
George quad 5s, what? Good bit.
There they are.
Wow.
For the life of me, I don't know why he would call that.
Begum doubles up.
It makes no difference against quad 5s.
Lon, buy me into the main event, please.
I'm thinking, what would Doyle do?
Doyle would buy Nicolo dinner, maybe take him home.
Because I'm not playing my hands right. So I said, what would Doyle do? Seriously. Because I don't know how to play. Doyle knows how to bet his hands. I don't.
Doyle knows how to do a lot of things we don't.
Okay, back to the masses at the outer tables here in the Rio poker room. Let's catch up again with Ray Romano. He's all in with King Queen and is running to pocket aces.
Look at him. He was the highest paid actor in TV history. Here at the poker table, he is just shark bait.
He's just another Hollywood kid with a dream.
Keep my hands up.
All right, he is in ahead against Hal England, a construction worker from Florida.
That's good.
Yeah, the aces are good against King Queen.
I'd say the 96% hand is good. Ray all in now and in a lot of trouble. He needs runner for a straight or trips or two pair.
All right, gentlemen.
And the turn card is a king. A little life for Romano.
Romano's chances improve a little. Ray now would need a king or a queen to stay alive.
He sucked out once. Can he do it again? Nope. 8 of diamonds means that Hal England wins it. Romano is gone.
And Ray can just head home now and sleep with his money.
Hey, good luck. All right, man. Please don't let Brad make it to the final table. Anywhere.
The last of Ray's chips end up with Hal England. And Brad Garrett will win the last longer bet between these two.
This is not going to be pretty now.
Time for Ray to fess up.
The 2007 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, your best bet for great taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by E-Trade. It's easy, it's extraordinary, it's E-Trade. And the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino, home of the 2007 World Series of Poker.
Good. What happened?
Loud.
Welcome back to the Rio.
I'm sorry. You want to pay me my side bet now, or? Ray, can you help me get this on better?
Move over.
Yeah, do Ray.
Wow, you're clammy.
You know, I'm clamming. Well, what do you think? This is easy?
All right, man. I'm out of here.
All right, man. Hey, over here. Show me some more.
Yeah.
Let me look.
Have you guys seen Brad's show? You better hurry. Seriously.
Ray can't resist the parting shot for his friend.
That's good. All right, man. I'll call you.
No, don't. See his show, you better hurry. What are you laughing at?
It was funny. I didn't even know Brad had a show.
The other side of the Rio poker room, Devilfish all in again.
It's me and Mr. Happy Face. Let's hope a chance.
King, Queen, all in.
I wanted you to fall. That would have given me a chance. I hope we got a pair of eights.
He's up against Brian Whiteman. Whiteman shows ace-6 of clubs.
Devilfish not happy. Devilfish seldom happy when he's losing.
Call me with ace-6 with 45 people after me.
Devilfish seems to have a real disdain for most American poker players.
Flop. Oh, there's the ace. Whiteman ahead.
Well, now Devilfish can start to pack up his anti-American personal effects.
Call me with an ace-6, look. Wow, well called.
And a 5 of spades ends it. Whiteman with the check mark.
Good call, buddy.
Devilfish drawing dead and gone.
And another textbook example from Devilfish Olliott on how to lose less than gracefully.
He's never been appointed an English ambassador anywhere, has he? Back now to our featured table. Doyle Brunson is in the black from his starting stack of 20,000, but not by much. Lines at 200 and 400.
I tell you, it's amazing what they can do now with 3D computer animation.
Andrew Cohen, a World Series rookie with pocket queens, is going to raise it up to 1,200. Avatars even know to raise 3 times the big blind, huh? And a lot of folds back over to Doyle Brunson in the big blind. Doyle, ace-queen of hearts.
Doyle once claimed that he does not play ace-queen.
Doyle will make the call with ace-queen.
Well, he claimed it.
And these two will go heads up. Cohen with the lead with the queens. And there is queen, 8, ace. Wow! Doyle thinks he loves that flop, but his 2-pair trail the 3 queens of Cohen.
Well, Doyle shouldn't play ace-queen, huh? That is a disaster flop for him.
Doyle slow plays his 2-pair, and Cohen is going to bet 2,000 with his set of queens.
Cohen, a bartender here in Las Vegas, has Doyle where he wants him.
And Doyle's going to raise it up to 5,500. This could be a lot of trouble real quick for Doyle.
Raise.
And a re-raise from Cohen. And Doyle moves all in.
A call.
And a call.
Oh, this is a horror film for Doyle Brunson.
Brunson turns over the 2 pair, but the 3 queens of Cohen have Doyle in trouble.
And a rueful smile for Doyle. He now sees that flop likely will end his main event quite quickly.
Cohen looks like he can't believe he's about to knock off the great Doyle Brunson.
Better get some aces up there.
It's been 30 years since Doyle's last main event title. Not looking good right here.
All right, now the turn card is a 3 of spades. No help to Brunson.
And Texas Dolly now will need an ace, or his 2007 main event is going to be over very early.
And now the river card is a 6 of diamonds, and that does send Doyle Brunson to the exit, done in by Andrew Cohen.
He thrilled us 3 years ago with that deep run in the main event. Not this time.
All right, a round of applause for our two-time main event winner,
So the legendary Texas Dolly hits the rail, and this entire room acknowledges the great player's exit.
So guys, who's playing their first World Series today? Main event. One? Anybody? You guys all played before? You don't look like you played before. You must be just 21, yeah?
No, I'm older than that, but it's the first time.
I'm only 21.
Yeah, you look 21, yeah.
Thank you.
At the table, Joe Hashem looks like a champion, and away from the table, he's a champion ambassador.
There's what they're all shooting for, the main event bracelet for this 38th World Series of Poker, but we're a long way from anyone claiming it. So over to John Panos. He is over 21 on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam. The 57-year-old has 10s.
He is a big Cubs fan. We will forgive him that.
Blinds at 50 and 100, and he's going to raise it to 300. Over to Kayam Ezat, 37-year-old amateur, born in Scotland.
He has a BA from Oxford, and we'll forgive him that.
Jack 10 of hearts, he makes the call. And action over to our 2005 world champ Joe Hashem. 8-7 offsuit from the small blind.
You know, Lon, I hate sunglasses in poker, but I think Hashem looks as natural in shades indoors as anyone I've ever seen.
Somehow he makes it work, indeed. All right, 3 to the flop. The flop is Jack 9-5. Ezat takes the lead with a pair of jacks.
Panos doesn't improve his pocket 10s. Hashem's picked up a double belly buster straight draw.
And that's worth 800 chips from Hashem. And Panos will fold those 10s. Ezat now to act. And he makes the call of 800 with top pair. So heads up to the turn. Turn card 3 of spades. Ezat still leads. Hashem to act first. Joe likes to be aggressive, as advertised. He's going to make it 1,800.
Hashem bets it like he's got it. What he's got is a main event bracelet and a draw. Ezat has the best hand and some doubts.
And he gives up the best hand to the world champ.
Well, the champ looks like a champ and the amateur looks like an amateur. All the world is right for the moment.
Time is too good. That's your problem. What's that? That's your problem. You're too good.
The world champ toying with the amateurs. With unknowns breaking through the huge fields, main event winners are now dogged by one big question: are you the real deal? 2005 champ Joseph Hashem avoided the sophomore slump last year, but Norman dodging the junior jinx has proven to be a bit more difficult.
Like most main event champions, Joe Hashem would like to turn back the clock. In 2005, he won it all. In 2006, he made 2 final tables and again cashed in the main event. But in 2007, he's been just another wary face in the madding crowd. Hashem hopes to rekindle that championship fire in this main event.
Indeed, Norman, to illustrate your point, Joe just had 1 minor cash during the bracelet events this year, but he says coming back to the Rio every year is like coming home. Joe bested a field of over 5,600 to win the title in 2005. And the man who bested more than 8,700 players last year but came up 1 short in the main event is right there. Paul Wasika finished second in 2006. He throws in a bet against bracelet winner Kathy Liebert, and she folds.
It was the battle of the headphones. I think Wasika is listening to Metallica.
And there are the chips of David Williams. He's got a kinship with Wasika. David came out of nowhere to finish second in the main event in 2004.
Wasika won $6 million as runner-up. Williams won $3.5 million in 2004.
And David does bring his mother to the main event every year. Shirley Williams standing up, playing today. Last year she made it to the second day. Right now she is all in with a set of 10s and looking quite nervous. But she hits quads.
Geez, I brought my mother to the main event last year. She also hit quads, but I think she was playing Keno.
All right, so Shirley Williams and a nice run early on.
Something happened.
And the Mother's Day theme continues here at the Rio. Defending champ Jamie Gold has brought his mother Jane. We remember her from last year cheering on Jamie. The roles are reversed right now.
That's the odd thing about poker. You don't see Tiger Woods win the Masters and then his mother is teeing off at Augusta the next year.
First hand you won?
She took some chips.
I wonder if she talked about her hand when she was in the hand.
So a nice start for Jane Gold.
I'm chip leader.
Oh.
Enjoy it. It might not last.
But I'm chip leader.
I think it took Jamie a couple days last year to become chip leader.
Could be a minute or
I know,
6
but
days.
this is mine. 15 seconds.
She gets 15 seconds. He got at least 15 minutes.
Jamie will play in a later session of this main event and try to go back-to-back as world champion. All right, let's go over to table 2. Scotty Wynn is in action. 5 players saw the flop, but just 2 to the turn. Scotty Wynn and Gerald Silber. Silber with top 2 pairs. Scotty with a straight draw. And on the turn, Scotty hits a straight.
If he had stopped to get a haircut this morning, he wouldn't be here to make that hand.
Silber is going to bet it 1,600. Scotty Wynn is going to raise it to 5,500.
I'm all in.
And Silber moves all in. And a call from Scotty.
And Silber is all but done.
Time to show your cards.
Oh, he got a straight.
Silber needs a queen or a jack.
River card is an ace, and that's going to do it. Scotty Wynn takes the pot.
Sorry about that, baby.
The 76-year-old Silber from San Antonio told us he's always been a losing player, and unfortunately, his streak continues.
You boy, keep messing around. You know what happened?
What happens? Scotty takes all your chips, baby.
The 2007 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, your best bet for great taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by Degree Men, more power than you need, one day you'll need it, and Harrah's Entertainment. Pre-register for next year's WSOP now at WorldSeriesOfPoker.com. The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, main event.
Back in the Rio in the second flight of 4 opening sessions as we get back to our featured table where 2005 world champ Joe Hashem is off to a good start.
Be nice to me, guys. Be nice to me. That's all I'm going to say. Otherwise, my kids may not get to college.
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Hashem can't get his kids through college on $7.5 million? He should just send them to UCSB, Lon. Do they even charge tuition there?
Watch it. All right. Pocket sevens for Thomas Beal, 32-year-old German player.
Actually, there's 8 nations represented here among 10 players at this featured table. Can you point out the Americans to me when we see them, Lon?
From Sweden, there's Jim Kleveborg with pocket kings. And he raises it to 400. Michael Gindler's from Germany.
I remember the war.
Hashem was born in Lebanon but lives in Australia.
I mean, now we're talking 9 nations.
4 tray of clubs on the button. Hashem is going to call the 400.
Hashem in the mood to play today.
And a couple of folds behind him. The raise back to Thomas Beal. Beal makes the call, 3 to the flop.
Lon, I'm going to tell you something you already know. This is the greatest tournament in the world. I love it.
The flop is 8 deuce ace. What a flop for Hashem, though Kleveborg's kings are still best. Hashem gets flush and straight draws.
And he's got a straight flush draw. You know I'd never fold a straight flush draw line.
Beal checked his pocket sevens. He did not improve. Kleveborg is going to bet 800.
He wants to see if his kings are good.
To Hashem now.
I'm going to raise.
He's going to raise, Lon.
He loves to push the action, especially when he's got a couple of draws. And to see it says raise 2,200. He has raised the action up to 2,200 chips.
It's a pot-sized bet from Hashem. He's again going to try to muscle out a youngin.
Beal folds. Now Kleveborg with those kings and the ace on the board. Those kings probably look a little smaller now.
Kleveborg might be thinking of giving Hashem too much respect right here.
And Kleveborg kicks him in.
That's the second time Hashem scallywags someone.
Well, his reputation certainly preceded him here to this featured table. Joe seems a lot more relaxed and comfortable here in 2007. He admits that the championship crown lay heavy at times last year.
And there it is, the knockout blow to the defending champion, Joseph Hashem.
This year, coming back as not the defending champion is interesting. Last year, I was under extreme pressure.
Mother!
For Hashem, it's a constant battle to keep his temper under wraps.
The first year, everyone wanted to play a pot with me.
I thought you promised you weren't going to try and bust me.
This year, they don't want to play a pot unless they've got the nuts.
Come on, guys. Don't let the chips scare you. They're only chips.
It's unrealistic to expect to win every time. But I've accomplished quite a lot.
Here! Put the money there!
I'm more relaxed, more comfortable.
Pass the sugar.
Win, lose or draw, I'm getting to live my dream. I was walking the red carpet with Matt Damon the other day. Very few make it to the top in poker.
Aussie!
If you're fortunate enough like I have been, it's a great life.
The 2005 champ has his bracelet stored away. He doesn't wear it when he plays. He says that would be a little bit cheesy.
And Joe knows style, if nothing else. So we take a look at our E-Trade tournament ticker. First place this year, $8.25 million. When Joe won it, $7.5 million. Back in 1998, it was $1 million, and that man, Scotty Wynn, won it. Right now, he's sitting on 2 pair at table 2. He leads Mark Doucette.
Lay it down, baby. My hand too big for you.
Scotty bets $1,600. Doucette thinks about it and does lay it down.
That's good, right, baby?
Yes, it was.
See that, baby? Zoom close. That's Cody Wynn, the World Series champion, baby, 20 years from now.
That's Scotty's baby. Baby.
He is a proud parent. Jen Harmon looking a little tired, maybe because the twins kept her up all night. She lays down the hand.
Her husband, Marco Traniello, got knocked out in the first session of day 1.
And another mother, Annie Duke, who's showing up late, just getting started. And coincidentally, she's at the same table as Jane Gold.
And Jane looking a little flamooshed with Annie's presence at the table.
Where's Jamie? Jamie nowhere to be found to watch his mom play and watch his mom take another pot. What's going on over there?
Where's my baby to see this?
That was a great
She wins another hand. That's another 15 seconds for her.
Well, that's a highlight that Jamie missed, but actually he is working the room and found his way to our featured table.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a visitor. It's Mr. Jamie Gold. Can we get a round of applause,
James?
please, for Mr.
G'day, buddy. How you doing?
Uh-oh. Greg Kramer's got to be nearby.
Mom has 30,000.
Hey!
Unbelievable, right?
Go, girl.
She makes it through the day.
That'll be huge.
I just came to wish you well.
Wish you luck for me, all right? Thanks, Jamie.
You kick some butt.
Take care, buddy.
Jamie's mother is playing, and Joe Hasham's brother Tony is also playing this year.
Tony, not a bad poker player in his own right. As we continue here at the feature table, and representing the United States of America, Corey Cheresnik.
Cheresnik? I don't think so.
With Pocket Kings. He cashed in the main event the year Hasham won it, and he's going to raise it up to $250. Now Cleveborg, who just folded Kings, has Queen Jack of Spades.
Cleveborg says he's played cards with his family since birth. I find that hard to believe.
He makes a call of $250. Back over to Hasham now, who has really controlled this table. 7-4 of hearts.
From the big blind.
Just cost him $150 more. And why not? He's in the pot.
Well, this time he is getting a good price, but boy, he's getting addicted to those small cards.
Flop is deuce, ace, 8, all hearts. Hasham hits the flush.
You gotta love those small cards. And Cheresnik still has his pocket kings, and he has a nut flush draw. Cleveborg whiffed on that. You see from the percentage next to his name.
Hasham first to act with that flush. He's going to make it $600 to play.
Cheresnik's got to like his hand, but the ace on the board's going to worry him.
And he makes the call. Cleveborg gives up his cards. So it'll be Hasham and Cheresnik. Hasham has made the flush, as you mentioned. Cheresnik with that king of hearts. He has the nut flush draw. Turn card, another heart, and Cheresnik steals the hand back from Hasham with the better flush.
Yeah, that 10 of hearts changes everything.
See the check mark next to Cheresnik's name. He can only lose the hand by folding. Hasham checks.
Yeah, Joe now worried because a bunch of hearts could beat him.
Cheresnik will make it $11.50 to play for Hasham.
You know, Hasham can't win this hand unless he pushes out another youngster, and I don't think a court order could get Cheresnik off of a nut flush.
So these two now go to the river card. Cheresnik with the check mark. It's a 6 of diamonds. Hasham again to act first.
And Joe again looking at the same situation. Those 4 hearts out there have got to trouble him.
Hasham checks. Cheresnik deciding how much more he can get out of Hasham. if anything. Bets 28.75.
Where'd that number come from? Actually, that number's 2/3 the size of the pot. That's where it came from.
This is just so sick. How could I flop a flush and lose the very next card?
Wow.
I haven't called.
What's Teresnik doing?
Oh, I thought he said he called.
No. Well, now I'm not calling for sure. But
Well, Jamie Gold
I'm
visits
saying how
Hashem,
sick
and the
is
next
it?
thing you know, he's
And
talking
the
about
very
his
next
cards while he's still in the hand. That's a no-no.
Everyone got free information. Use it wisely.
I wasn't calling on the river.
I don't think
I was just whining.
Reminds me of an old joke about the difference between dogs and poker players. Eventually, the dogs quit whining. Back inside the Rio, and thanks to our KFC Snacker Cam, you get a good overhead look at this massive field. Everybody here to compete for the main event bracelet, one of 55 awarded at this year's World Series. And there is Jeff Lissandro, who just won his first bracelet.
400. 3.
Looking for callers.
Oh, man. Can't get any business here.
Lissandro in a zone of late. He was runner-up for World Series Player of the Year.
He finished 17th in the main event last year, won over $659,000. And there's Paul Wasika, who had a more lucrative main event last year than Lissandro in a hand against Eric Weiner. Wasika with a set of sevens versus the pair of kings. Wasika with a 5,000 chip bet on the river.
Weiner seems to sense he's beat. Wasika gives nothing away.
Talking to you won't work. We know that.
Weiner makes the call and then learns he's beat.
I thought you would raise with the set the whole time.
I do not believe Wasika has lost a hand today while listening to Metallica.
Well, Paul prefers the low-key lifestyle, but that has been difficult to continue since his runner-up finish in the main event last year.
Wasika to call. But I wasn't going to let the disappointment bring me down. I definitely think that I have to prove something to myself this year, hoping to make that final table and take it down.
Wasika has proved a lot already since last year's main event. 12th in the Aussie Millions, he made a WPT final table and won the National Heads Up Poker Championship.
The main event bracelet displayed near our feature table beckons all who feel worthy. Joseph Hashem was up to the challenge in 2005 and right now continuing his run to glory at our featured table. 8-3. Can you run to glory on the back of 8-3 offsuit, Norman?
Well, poker-wise, Joe says he's 70% art, 30% science, which means he plays his instincts more than he plays the math. And I don't think there's any math that tells you to play 8-3 offsuit.
He's going to make a raise to 550. The blinds have changed to 100 and 200 now.
Can you point out the Americans to me? Can you show them to me?
Scotland's Kayem Azat with pocket jacks from the big blind.
So he's not one of the Americans, huh?
No, he's not. And he will make the call. And he was the one Hashem bluffed out of some chips, so maybe Azat looking for revenge. The flop is tray deuce 6. Joe catches a pair of trays, but Azat's jacks are still best, and he checks. Hashem now reaching for chips, continues to be aggressive. 850 now.
Well, if Azat checked, I think Hashem was going to make a continuation bet there no matter what the flop was, and Joe did get a piece of the flop.
Azat now with a check raise to 2,000.
That should be a wake-up call for Hashem.
A lot of amateurs, though, at this table.
4,000 straight.
And Joe re-raises to 4,000.
You don't re-raise there unless you have a real good health care plan.
And a quick call by Azat. That should tell Joe something.
I don't know what Joe's backup plan is, Lon, but he better have one.
Here we go to the turn card. 7 of spades. No help to Joe Hashem. Azat with a huge advantage.
2,000.
2,000.
Oh, good read.
What sort of a bet is that? Tell him to take it back.
Take it back, please. He's messing with
I like Joe's backup plan.
That's okay.
I hope Azat put his bet back in there. Joe knows he's done. I think.
Wow. You got a big hand?
I'm definitely ahead at this moment.
Oh, don't talk to him. Loose lips sink chips.
Nice hand, man.
And Joe does give it up. Rightly so. Nice hand by Kayem Azat.
Definitely ahead, or are you bluffing?
Yeah, definitely. Your 9s or 10s were no good, I don't think.
If that's what you think I had, then you're totally wrong. I lay down kings there.
That's good.
Well, Hashem got out-dealt, out-flopped, out-bet, but not out-fibbed.
Maybe I laid down the best hand, I don't know.
Welcome back to the Rio and the main event. When you have a field this large, you're bound to have a couple of zany wannabes, a lot of interesting characters, one odder than the next. Sometimes you feel like you've stumbled onto the Montel Williams show. And hey, there is Montel Williams.
On the next Montel, flop junkies and the women who love them.
Montel certainly has made his mark in the syndicated talk show circuit. And another man who has made his mark on television is Sam Simon, the co-creator of The Simpsons and host of one of the more entertaining home games in Hollywood.
Here, you should go show this to Norm. This is how you fold.
Is he talking to me?
A little instructional video.
He is talking to me.
No, not you, Mr. Chad. This Norm, comedian Norm Macdonald. He and Sam are good friends. They've got a large, last longer bet. Whoever gets knocked out of the main event first has to pay the other $100,000.
Someone should tell Norm a joke. Enjoy yourself, buddy. This is the World Series of Poker, not your last sitcom.
All right, we check in now on table number 2, where Scotty Nguyen has been holding court. He currently has Andres Alvarez of Venezuela all in with ace-king and a flush draw against Scotty's pocket jacks.
Scotty taking no prisoners today.
Alvarez all in.
Good luck.
Turn card now, 8 of hearts. No help to Alvarez.
Alvarez needs an ace, king, or spade to stay alive.
River card is the 10 of diamonds, and that will do it.
I know that.
Alvarez gone, done in by Scotty
I
Nguyen.
do that, and I told him that. Sorry, baby.
Don't worry, baby.
Scotty, the gentle executioner.
Spreading the love.
You got it. Okay, sir. You take care, all right, man?
And even after knocking him out, Scotty consoles Alvarez and his cheering section, proving again that Scotty's one of the more popular players in the game.
I'm Scotty Nguyen. I'm Prince of Poker, baby. Scotty Nguyen, like superstar. Hi, baby. I think I signed 34, 40 pictures today. All right, here we go, baby. Second hand, gotta be 200-300. Women, when they see me, they sparkle in there. You know, wow, is that Scotty Nguyen? Love you, guy, man. Like all the young kids now, it's like I want to be Scotty Nguyen. I want to be Scotty Nguyen. You know, baby, you remind me just me when I was young.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Look at me now. That's a good thing. In the Oklahoma, baby, on freeway they have billboard of Scotty Nguyen. Not too much for you. I'm just like God in Oklahoma. Baby. Don't you guys forget that? Scotty Nguyen's life right now is just like so relaxed. The old day, baby, I would have bet my house, my wife, my girl. When the day's over, I love to go home, enjoy my garden, enjoy my monkey, enjoy my kid, enjoy my wife, you know? I feel love, baby. This is the American dream, baby. I have 2 monkeys at home.
I have only 1 monkey, but I live in the city.
Somehow I'm not surprised that Scotty Nguyen has 2 monkeys at his home in Las Vegas. I don't know why. Back to our featured table where another former champ is just trying to make it through the day like everyone else. Joe Hashem a little below the starting stack of 20,000.
You guys are in trouble now anyway, because my wife's sitting in the audience watching, so she doesn't like me losing, so watch.
There is Jeannie Hashem watching your husband. And congratulations to you, Norman Chad. I know you've added another wife to the roster.
Yeah, I decided I had to go with the pot odds and take another shot. Plus, my Uncle Spoon says the 5th time's the charm.
Jim Cleveborg, not married. World Series rookie has a couple of hearts, 8-7.
That's the Daniel Negreanu special.
Action back now to Joe Hashem. Joe with pocket deuces.
I don't remember him with a pocket pair today.
No. He's had a tough time. He's had 7-8, tray 4, 7-4, tray 8. He's been working hard. He makes the call.
So technically, this is the best hand we've seen him play today.
So Hashem and Cleveborg to the flop, and it's 6-10-10. 2-pair for Hashem, but a straight flush draw for Cleveborg.
When I get a straight flush draw on, the freckles jump off my face.
Cleveborg bets 800 into Hashem now.
Hashem says when he's in a poker zone, he's right like 99.9% of the time. I don't know if he's in the zone right now.
He makes the call. Hashem with the best hand right now. Kleveborg with the best drawing hand with that straight flush draw. Turn card is another deuce, and Hashem turns a full house. Wow. He's in the zone.
I remember the Aussies have a term for this type of hand. Oi, oi, oi!
Kleveborg now announces 1,800.
Well, Kleveborg figures that deuce is harmless, so he's going to represent strength again. As it is, Kleveborg can only win with one card in the deck.
And Joe tosses in some chips casually, like, oh, I'll pay to see what you have. River card, ace of hearts, and wow, that's a great card for Hashem because Kleveborg hit his flush.
What a bad card for Kleveborg. I mean, he's let out every betting round. He finally makes his hand, and he can't win.
Hashem with the check mark with the full house, and Kleveborg bets 2,500.
Kleveborg making a value bet here, hoping to get Hashem to call. And Hashem figures his hand is good. It's just a question of how much he wants to raise.
Raise.
Joe's going to make it 5,000, 2,500 more to Kleveborg.
That single 5,000 chip has to jolt the 24-year-old.
And Hashem has pushed Kleveborg into a corner. Kleveborg makes the call, though. And Hashem shows the winning full house.
And Kleveborg sees the full house. Heck, last time I had a full house, I was married with 2 kids, and I don't know whose kids they were.
So the smallest pair gives a big boost to Joe Hashem, who is still fighting to keep his head above water here on his day 1 of the 2007 main event.
Seat open, 195. Seat open on 6. Seat open, table 36.
The main event has proven to be a minefield for professional players. And plenty of big names have hit the rail. While the ultimate goal is to own all the chips, the name of the game on day 1 is survival. So let's take a look at our E-Trade tournament ticker. You see there have been 598 players eliminated today. Chip average just about 33,000, and you'll recall everyone starting with 20,000. And those are the chips of our chip leader, Montel Williams.
On the next Montel, chip leaders and the women who love them. Seriously, Montel has the chip lead?
Chip lead for Montel Williams. And good news for Sam Simon, too. He's about to find out he's $100,000 richer. Norm MacDonald gone.
Good job, pal.
Like this guy needs more money? He co-created The Simpsons.
I went in with the worst of it. I lost. Or at least I have my health. I raised my doctor. Hello.
Well, Jeff Lissandro just got a call from the Grim Reaper of poker. He has been eliminated from the main event. Well, they're checking the chips. Has he really been eliminated?
Jeff. Yeah.
Well, they're counting it down. He might have enough left for a Malamar bar.
So Jeff back to his table. They're doing the count. Does he have some life left in this main event?
That's much for nothing.
No.
That's like getting knocked out twice.
Well, as one pro bites the dust, another has a foot out the door. Jen Harmon is all in against the amateur Deanna Dozier.
Jen needs a 4 ace or heart, or she'll have another early exit from the main event.
River card is a 9, and Jennifer Harmon is gone from the 2007 main event.
And a sweet wave goodbye from Deanna.
That's the World Series you can sit next to and knock out one of the game's greats.
Jen will head home now, and I'll bet you Marco and the twins are watching the Montel Williams show.
Why are you so scared? Because this is like, I'm an amateur.
Welcome to the World Series, a World Championship and a fantasy camp all rolled into one. All right, let's go back to our featured table. Joe Hashem, the blinds are up to 200 and 400.
We talked about what a strong 2006 World Series Hashem had, and then he capped the year by winning a WPT title, but here in 2007, it has just been a struggle.
Ace 10 of spades for Hashem. Even at this table, nothing has come easy for him. He makes it 1,000.
Oh, this guy's one of our Americans, right?
From Florida. He has King Jack.
He looks like an American. He's with us.
And he makes the call.
Now, these guys don't look like they're with us. Okay, the Cubs guy, I guess.
You're right about that.
Lon, remind me to send a list of all feature table players to the INS.
Kayem is that with a couple of 5s.
How much is it? 1,000.
From the big blind.
And it is from Joe, so I'll call.
Oh, Hashem's in the hand, so he's going to call.
I like Australians.
All right, so 3 to the flop. Is that with his 5s leads right now. And the flop is queen, queen, 9, couple of spades. As that's 5s are still good. Hashem with a flush draw. As that first to act, he checks. Joe Hashem on the draw. He checks. And Shield checks as well.
All 3 content to see a free card.
And the free card is a 10 of clubs, and Shield hit his straight, but not out of the woods yet.
Don't be shifty with your eyes, Joe Shield. We're going to take down these foreigners.
As that checks his 5s, he's almost drawing dead. Hashem paired his 10. He's going to make it 1,500.
Raise them, buddy.
Raise.
Joe Shield is going to raise it up.
Raise.
It makes it 5,000 to play.
That's cold, hard American cash.
As that will fold his hand.
Hashem can't go anywhere. He's got 2 pair and the nut flush draw.
And he does make the call, so these 2 will be heads up to the river. Shield with the advantage. River card is an 8, and Shield gets the check mark. Hashem can only win it by pushing Shield off the hand. But he checks. And Shield bets 2,000. It's kind of a small bet.
Yeah, it is. It's a value bet. There's not a whole lot Hashem can beat now, but I think he's just got to call for the size of the pot. It's just 2,000 more to win 15,000 plus.
Hashem makes the investment and learns the bad news. So Shield takes down the pot from the former world champ.
And at the moment, 2005 seems a long time ago.
Wow.
So Joe Hashem must feel like he's spending the whole day on a greased treadmill. So while Hashem tries to compose himself at our featured table, let's go over to table 2, where Scotty Wynn has been beating everybody up.
Scotty treating table 2 like his private playground today.
And his chip stack of 50,000 reflects that.
Who would have thought?
Gregory Weitzel raised to 600 with kings.
Surprise for me.
Scotty,
just for you, baby.
With 8-7, makes the call from the big blind. The flop 9-6-5, and Scotty flops a straight.
It is good to be Scotty Wynn, baby.
Weitzel with the kings. That's 1,000.
That's it? Oh no. I know you got none of that.
Scotty with the raise.
You know I got none of that? I'm all in.
That's trouble. Scotty makes the call. This is the degree all-in moment. Scotty in for about half of his chips, but with a chance to knock off another player.
Of course. Scotty?
Not yet, baby.
Pretty much. Pretty damn much.
Pretty damn much is right. Weitzel has a $5 cigar and a 3% hand.
King and pair the board.
All right, now the turn card pairs the board.
I don't like that.
Well, Weitzel now will need another 9 or a king.
It's a 4 of clubs, and Scotty Wynn earns the degree check mark.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Weitzel is gone after overplaying those kings.
And Scotty keeps sending them off with a handshake and a smile.
That's the 3rd knockout for Scotty. He's up to 75,000 chips.
Nothing easy, baby. Turn card come a pair. Oh my God.
The Degree All-In Moment is brought to you by Degree Men. More power than you need. One day you'll need it. The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Welcome back to the Rio, and he's at it again. Scotty Wynn has knocked off another player. This time it's James Taylor.
You know when I raise, I coming.
I know you're coming.
You don't think I raise with nothing, baby?
Good luck, pal.
All right, baby.
If Scotty keeps this up, they're going to put him on huge billboards outside of the Rio.
Not yet.
Elsewhere, we find Shirley Williams again, and she had just moved all in and survived a big draw, and so she'll stick around.
I did it for my son. Let's gamble. I never ever gambled. He would be proud. He would be proud. He'd be so proud of me.
So Shirley survives. Unfortunately, David will have plenty of time to watch his mom and feel proud as Chris Lim ends David's day.
Hey, your mother's the other way.
So David Williams is gone. He will get no more chances to win the main event bracelet this year, nor will he get a chance to compete for an even more prestigious title, which is the subject of this week's edition of The Nuts.
The Prop Bets bracelet is the most important of all bracelets.
Every day I practice. Need to win this prop betting contest. It's maybe the only way I get a bracelet.
I will use every muscle
even those ones that haven't been used since high school, to become prop bets champion.
I could beat everybody doing everything. I'm keeping that bracelet. The bracelet's really cool.
Good luck, kid. E-tennis was my idea, and frankly, I don't think they have a chance. Good match. Okay, what's next?
I don't know how we ended up at Daniel's house. Shipping in Daniel's backyard.
Eat some of that. Go get that one, Marley.
There's one athlete in this group and 3 mathletes, and I'm the athlete.
Oh, home run.
That was fun.
Whoa. Is that game?
You're tied with Marley the dog for last.
Next event is kicking field goals, but I will be winning that event for sure.
How far are we kicking field goals from? I want to bet that you don't make one.
If Billy Gazes is an athlete, I'm a happily married man.
You are a happily married man.
You know, we skipped the honeymoon and just got down to the nitty-gritty of not liking each other.
Oh, okay. That saves a lot of time. Blinds are up to 300, 600 on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam. Joe Hashem with Jack 8 of clubs.
2001 was the last year an established pro captured the main event, Carlos Mortensen. Hashem one of 5 straight unknowns to win the big one.
And he's going to raise it up to 1,600 with the suited jack.
We have seen him push a lot of the action at this table.
Now to David Craig, a roofing contractor from Ireland with ace queen offsuit.
From Iowa?
Ireland.
Oh, he's not American.
Sorry.
You know, Hashem was the first Australian to win the main event. Scotty Wynn was the first born in Vietnam to win it in 98.
There's a new player at our table, John Prinsky from Brooklyn.
Hey!
He folds.
Loser.
Cheresnik gives it up, as does Ezat. And action around 2, 54-year-old Michael Gindler, an engineer from Germany with pocket aces.
If he gets pocket aces enough, Gindler could become the first German to win the main event.
And he's going to raise it up to 3,800.
I don't think Joe Hashem wanted to pay this much to see the flop.
Hashem was the original raiser. It's going to cost him 2,200 more to play, and he's going to come along. Craig next. We'll give it up.
Good discipline.
So Gindler with his aces and Hashem with his suited jack 8 will go to the flop.
Those are the type of cards you want to try to crack aces.
And a couple of 6s and a jack. Hashem with a second jack, but he's still behind. Gindler all in for 11,600.
And another tough decision for Joe Hashem. He has flopped top pair here, but he would have to commit about half of his stack to call this all in.
Nothing going easy for Joe Hashem today.
It seems like all day Hashem's trying to turn water into wine.
Gindler with his aces has Joe on the ropes right now.
You think I should call?
Joe trying to draw him out.
That's big.
Can you beat pair of 10s? Yes? No? You don't know?
Joe fishing for information.
I think I'm following the best hand.
You're not, Joe. It would be a good fold.
And Hashem does give it up.
I didn't have the best hand.
Gindler with his aces takes the pot. Hashem's got to be frustrated seeing all the good cards going elsewhere.
The funny thing is, I don't complain about anything in life except cards.
The 2007 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, your best bet for great taste. Miller Brewing Company, and in part by E-Trade. It's easy, it's extraordinary, it's E-Trade. And the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino, home of the 2007 World Series of Poker.
Back at the Rio on the KFC Snacker Cam, you get only a glimpse of the enormous field here. Thousands of entrants in the main event, but a million stories will come out of this tournament. Paul Wasika at one point was up to about 80,000, now down to below average of 27,000. And another player not doing well, former chip leader Montel Williams under 30,000.
On the next Montel, fallen chip leaders and the women who love them.
So Montel finding that the closing stage of day one is the toughest one. One player who does have the golden touch right now is Jane Gold. Still in the uptick.
Putting them all in, whatever he has. What do you have there, honey?
She's pushing the action again. Jane flips over a set of 10s.
These golds, they take no prisoners.
So Jane Gold knocks off a player. She's over 44,000 chips. Well done. Another player who has been on a roll, Scotty Wynn, over at table 2, is hooked up with Stephen Faraka. Faraka has straight and flush draws, but Scotty Wynn leads with a set of jacks. Faraka is going to move all in. And Scotty calls him right away.
Scotty Wynn committing more than half of his stack to this hand.
So Stephen Faraka is at risk, but he's got a bunch of outs to put a hurt on Scotty Wynn.
Good luck, Scotty.
Good luck to you, baby.
And now the turn cards, 6 of hearts, no help to Faraka.
First time all day we've seen Scotty nervous. Faraka needs an ace-9er club, or Scotty can ring up another victim.
And ring it up. Scotty Wynn will win the hand and send Stephen Faraka to the rail. What a day Scotty Wynn is having at table 2 here in the main event.
Can't give a good man down.
We have an APB out for a serial poker killer, 44 years old, Vietnamese, wearing a lot of bling.
So one former world champion having a terrific day 1. Back over to our feature table where another former world champ having a rough time. Hashem below the starting chip stack of 20,000 right now.
All day he just can't get into step here, and he's got to like this table. A bunch of World Series novices, not particularly well dressed.
Jim Cleveborg. And the pocket aces have found Cleveborg now. And he's going to raise it up to 1,600. Hashem now. And Hashem finally finds a hand against aces. Ace-king for Joe.
What a bad time for ace-king.
Re-raise.
Joe is going to re-raise it to 4,600.
Joe keeps running into big hands.
All right, action. Back to Cleveborg now.
Yeah, it is a tough day gone bad for Joe Hashem.
I'm all in.
All in.
And another big decision for Joe. This would be for all of Hashem's chips.
Oh, cool.
And Hashem calls all in.
Oh, and a disaster for Joe Hashem.
Aces again.
And Cleveborg has a 2005 champ in a lot of hot water.
Aces again, huh?
That is sick, Joe.
Huh?
That is pretty sick.
No, it's not. It's been happening for a month. It's not sick. Just the way it happens. Good luck, Jimmy. You don't need it, but I do.
Jimmy doesn't look like he's the one holding pocket aces.
Well, Hashem was knocked out on day 3 last year during the main event, but he was the one holding the aces. All right, now here's the flop. Hashem all in. The flop is 10 Queen Jack. Oh, wow, a world championship flop.
Oh, and Jimmy needs some good luck now. Hashem flops Broadway.
Love you. Love you.
That'll change your mood.
She looks as uncomfortable as my wife when I wave to her.
Well, Hashem hasn't won it yet.
Cleveborg's going to need some runners to knock him out.
Turn card now. It is an 8 of clubs, and Cleveborg can only chop it now, Norman.
Hashem has survived his all-in.
I haven't cracked aces for so long. If I do it now, it'll be the first time.
If a king comes on the river, they'd split the pot. Both would have an ace-high straight. Otherwise, Hashem takes it all.
It is a 6 of diamonds, and Hashem will take it all. Cleveborg can only throw his hands up and surrender. But what a turnaround for the former world champ. He cracks aces, doubles up, and he'll be back for an encore.
It is almost mind-boggling how many people are in this room because of that man, Chris Moneymaker, wearing his main event bracelet today.
When'd you win that?
03.
It's rare when Moneymaker isn't recognized.
I don't think he knows who you are.
I know who he is. I know exactly who he is.
Robert Anderson yanking Chris's chain a little bit. We'll start with the blinds at 50 and 100.
Okay, guys, I got Rocky playing in my ears, so I'm going to get real jacked after this hand, okay? Just want you to know.
I better do the same then.
That's Bruce Buffer, the UFC ring announcer and brother of boxing ring announcer Michael Buffer.
I'm getting on mine too. I'll have to get pumped up with you.
Are you serious?
On my headphones right now, I'm listening to ESPN Radio.
On the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, Queen Jack for Buffer. He limps in.
That's not what Rocky would do. That's not what Rocky would do.
Sometimes you gotta wait, you know? Pick your spots.
Moneymaker riding Buffer for limping in.
I think I'll wait.
With 8-5, Moneymaker's going to check his option. So two guys listening to the theme from Rocky going to the flop. Norman? 7-6 queen. Buffer pairs his queens. Moneymaker with a straight draw. Moneymaker comes in for 150.
500.
And Buffer's going to raise it to 500. Moneymaker with a quick call.
Very polite, takes his own change.
Turn card is a 5, and that pairs Moneymaker. He's still behind. Chris checks. Buffer with the queens, bets 700.
I've played with Bruce many times in his home game in L.A. Check is not in his vocabulary.
And Moneymaker will pay to see the river. And the river card is another 5, and Moneymaker earns the check mark with trips.
He was looking for something else, but that will do.
He checks. Buffer looks suspiciously at Moneymaker, and he checks. And Chris Moneymaker takes the first pot. He might have been chasing the straight, but he won it with 3 5s.
Nice river, Chris.
Like me, I think Chris expected Bruce to bet the river, then he was going to check raise him.
Hey, if I'm going to lose, I might as well lose to a world champion, right?
2003 champ knows it takes a bit of luck to claim this title. He'll take it wherever he can get it.
Norman, it's been 4 years since Moneymaker's inconceivable run in the main event, and though he's not made it past day 2 since, the so-called Moneymaker effect is as strong as ever. The staggering size of the fields filled with amateurs can still be attributed to the one-time accountant from Tennessee.
The Chris Moneymaker legacy is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, he can always bask in the glow of winning the main event and helping to create the poker boom. On the other hand, he's the guy who once won it all, who hasn't won a whole lot since. And that can be quite a burden to carry to the poker table.
Chris Moneymaker sitting tantalizingly close to the 2007 version of the World Series main event bracelet.
Chris, does the bracelet change every year? Do they redesign it, or is it always exactly the same?
This was the same when it was at Binion's for the longest time. I think they redesigned it, for Rio. So the next one right here is going to look a lot different.
Chris has room for the new one. Well, as usual, a buzz of electricity in the room here.
It is a spectacle, and it is spectacular.
Brand new field getting their day 1 underway, including the man who won it the year after Moneymaker, Fossil Man.
Greg Raymer.
One pair.
Moneymaker beat a field of 839. Raymer beat a field of 2,576.
Supposed to check raise the turn.
Raymer's always right.
Elsewhere in the red, the man who won it the year before Moneymaker, Robert Barconi.
One of the nicest men you'll ever meet. He actually started the current string of 5 straight amateurs to win the main event.
And Robert's raking in some chips. And another champion is in the field. And in action, 2000 world champ Chris Jesus Ferguson. He just moved all in on the river.
All in call.
That is Wool Lure who has called him, and Ferguson turns over quad jacks.
2000 was the first year actually the main event attracted more than 500 players.
I didn't have you on a jack there.
So Chris Ferguson off to a good start. Elsewhere, Phil Ivey is also all in after the river.
Chris Moneymaker knocked Ivey out of the 03 main event with a Miracle River card. Had that card come down differently, who knows how poker history would have changed.
And he's been called.
Phil, always my main event pick every year. It's a lot of pressure.
Ivey with a full house takes that pot for an early double up.
I'm worried. He looks bored already. He must have a 3:30 tea time.
All right, back to our featured table, where Chris Moneymaker is holding a straight draw and trailing Scott Kilcullen, who has a pair of 7s. These two are about to see the river card here. 4,400 chips in the pot. River card is a king, and that gives Kilcullen the check mark with kings up.
Chris now left with 10 high. In other words, squad douche. He can't win unless he bets at the pot.
And he is going to bet at it. 1,800.
And this value bet bluff he's making at the end, it might have worked if Kilcullen didn't hit a second pair. I can't see Kilcullen getting away from kings up for another 1,800. Moneymaker had bet the flop, then the turn, now the river.
Oh, your 2 pairs good, man.
Kilcullen calls and wins the pot.
I missed completely.
This turns over 8-10.
Wrong river card. Good hand.
Moneymaker's instincts were spot on there.
The New Jersey veterinarian wins the pot.
I was hoping you weren't going to catch that second pair.
I was hoping he wasn't going to be wearing a Cubs jersey.
Kilcullen, also a sports memorabilia collector, just picked up almost 4,000 authentic World Series of Poker chips from the 2003 main event winner.
The 2007 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, your best bet for great taste. Miller Brewing Company, and in part by E-Trade. It's easy, it's extraordinary, it's E-Trade. And Harrah's Entertainment. Pre-register for next year's World Series of Poker now at worldseriesofpoker.com.
I'm steaming away, just steaming away.
Back in the Rio Poker Room and Lounge with Open Mic Night featuring Mike the Mouth Matiso. TJ Cloutier at his table saying, I hope there's no encore.
I'm steaming now.
I wonder what's on the flip side of that single.
Both Matiso and TJ looking for their first main event bracelet. Thanks to the KFC Snacker Cam, we can see this huge main event field packed with professionals and amateurs alike and many famous faces out there. There is 3-time Grammy Award-winning artist Nelly.
Can't name a piece of his music.
Former light heavyweight champ of the world, Antonio Tarver's here.
Never saw any of his fights.
And Jason Alexander, star of stage and screen.
What has he ever been in?
You must bear in mind at all times, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
But no celebrity has proven themselves like World Series ladies event winner Jennifer Tilley.
Jason Alexander's been nominated for Emmys. She's been nominated for an Oscar. That's the real deal.
And behind her is her boyfriend, Phil the Unabomber Locke, who's still in the hunt for his first World Series of Poker bracelet, and he wants us coming over here.
And that's the flop. You got the flop. See how they don't match? No, I'm just going home. I don't need to bust out, you know?
Hey, he's still got chips.
Phil.
No, maybe I stay. Maybe something can develop. You know?
He just doesn't want to leave his girlfriend in a room full of poker misfits.
This year, the main event entry fee was still $10,000 per seat, but a slight change as every player begins the tournament with 20,000 chips.
Isn't that your silhouette up there in 2007?
Yeah, it sort of looks like it.
I think it looks like it.
Yeah, it does.
Is that premonition of what's going to happen this year?
You never know.
Anyone can win the main event, but the real pressure begins the day after.
If you read internet blogs or you ask someone on the street, they'll say, well, you know, he hasn't done anything since '03. I can win the main event this year, next year, and they'll still be saying I'm bad or saying something's wrong.
Chris Moneymaker.
Who's that? That's the nature of the beast. Everybody thinks that I have to go out here and prove something in the World Series or in some other tournament to prove myself. But I'm happy with what I've done, and I got money in the bank, and that's all that matters. Every tournament I play in, there's a bounty on my head. So you have to adapt your play. I got to be able to decipher real quick. Are they trying to put a move on Chris Moneymaker, or are they trying to win a tournament? If I wanted to go out and play poker somewhere and not be Chris Moneymaker and not have everybody wanting to ask you questions or talk to you the whole time, that would be deflating. I'd rather have it this way. You know, as much as it sometimes does get taxing, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Lon, Chris Moneymaker has nothing to prove. The stars aligned for him at the absolute best time possible. He benefited from it. Everyone's benefited from it, and he's handled himself well.
Hey, Chris, what were you thinking at the final table against Sammy? And he made the huge bluff and he laid it down. Remember that one, like, whatever it was, and he's like, I almost called you. I almost did.
I know he didn't want to risk his whole tournament on some kind of mediocre hand. So I was pretty sure he was going to fold, but as he was thinking about it, I got a little bit worried. But I thought
gutsy.
In my heart of hearts he was going to fold.
If Farha did call there, maybe he goes on to win in '03, and then do we have a Sammy Farha effect? I don't know.
We'll walk around with unlit cigarettes, maybe. Pocket jacks for Chris Moneymaker.
$750.
Raises it up.
Wow, you're coming out playing.
I got to get some chips back. I got to gamble a little bit.
Do you think Chris has been labeled as a bluffer because of that one bluff against Farha?
Considering the moment he did it, considering how many times people have seen it, yes.
Ace Queen of Diamonds for Bruce Buffer.
Bruce has helped market his brother's trademark expression, let's get ready
no,
to...
no. If you say that, you got to pay him. We can't afford it.
Oh, thank you.
He makes the call.
All right, Mr. Moneymaker, let's have some fun.
Good luck to you, sir.
These guys are developing a beautiful friendship.
Buffer and Moneymaker, the flop 4, Queen 4. Buffer pairs his queen again and takes control. Moneymaker first to act.
1100.
1100.
Comes out firing.
3,000.
Buffer's going to raise him to 3,000.
Buffer likes to rumble.
And Moneymaker folds, showing his jacks.
Quick and smart laydown from Moneymaker.
And Bruce showed the winning queens to Chris.
How come there's no applause from anybody around here? Look at that.
Buffer used to screaming throngs at the octagon during UFC fights.
Nothing like taking down a world champion.
Some more bad luck for Moneymaker at this featured table.
Wow.
All right, let's move away from here. Go to the outer tables, and we find Amir Vahidi. He is mulling over the opportunity to take down a world champion, a baseball world champion. Jose Canseco's here. He was a member of 2 World Series winning teams.
Now or never, guys.
Looks like he works out.
I hope historians don't refer to this time in poker as the steroid era.
32.
Jose moved all in after flopping a straight. Amir calls him with a flush draw. Turn card is no help to Vahidi.
Amir needs a spade to knock out Canseco.
And the river card is a spade. Amir will take the hand.
That's brutal.
Poker, that's where some people have day jobs.
Canseco gone.
Jose will end up linking Amir to HGH in his next book.
So Jose Canseco eliminated from the main event, done in by the pro Amir Vahidi. And a quick end to $10,000 for Canseco. Everyone left in the room thanks you for your contribution to the game.
It's time! 5 rounds for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World!
Bruce Buffer has watched a lot of fights during his tenure as ring announcer for the UFC, so he does understand upsets are part of the game, and he really seems to have Chris Moneymaker in his sights tonight.
Lon, I don't think you could do what Bruce does.
I know I can't do what he does. I give him and Michael a lot of credit. That is not easy.
Well, if Bruce couldn't raise, you would take away his whole game. He'd have no game.
He has ace-king offsuit. He's going to make it 4 times the big blind. 1,600 to go.
Since winning $2.5 million in 03 at the main event, Chris has had only 1 tournament payday over $25,000.
Pocket 4s, and he's going to call.
You just can't stay away from me, can you, Chris?
You know, you got to pick your spots.
Am I in your gun sights?
Well, you're just right in front of me, so.
Hey, the shortest distance between 2 people is a straight line.
Straight line, you got it.
The line between us, Lon, is perpendicular.
All right, the flop, and there's a 4 Moneymaker. Flops a set. But Buffer will be first to act.
He's going to bet. He's got a betting disorder, I tell you.
Makes it 2,500 to play, and Chris loves to see that.
Well, if Chris looked straight across the table, he'd see a mirror image. Buffer, not nearly as skilled of a player as Moneymaker, but he loves being aggressive.
And there's the call. Wow, just a smooth call.
Well, Chris has him right where he wants him right here.
Turn card now is an 8. That misses Buffer. Moneymaker earns the check mark.
You got about the same as I do, don't you?
I've got about 10,000 maybe.
Bruce loves firing away, and he's one of those guys you never know what type of hand he's on.
I'm going to check you one time, Chris.
Slows down.
Chris, I'm going to check you one time. I want to see what you got.
I'll bet 4,000.
Moneymaker comes back.
Well, that might tell Bruce that what Chris has got is a real hand.
Does Bruce want to be reckless here?
Can't do it.
Now he folds.
Lon, these two just might want to go get themselves their own dealer. They seem to like going back and forth with each other a lot.
Moneymaker takes that battle.
Good bet, Chris.
Thank you, sir.
So while Moneymaker and Buffer reload for their next confrontation, let's move to the outer tables, and we find former world champion Joe Hashem, who stopped by to schmooze with Steve Daneman. Hashem already survived his day 1 session, and now Daneman, who finished second to Joe in 2005, trying to do the same.
I believe Hashem just wiped off his hand after shaking Daneman's hand.
At another table, Robert Varconi and his wife Olga. Olga busted out of the main event earlier today. Right now, they do look a bit worried because Robert has put all his chips at risk holding a flop pair of kings, and he's waiting for a decision from the 2000 world champ Chris Ferguson, who has jacks.
Varconi was the first main event champion to win $2 million. Jesus won $1.5 million 2 years earlier. Both these guys got brains. Varconi studied electrical engineering at MIT. Jesus studied computer science at UCLA. Ferguson has a big stack. He can afford a call here.
Almost 20,000 to make the call. And Chris does make the call to put Varconi at risk. Oh, that's awesome. And Chris Ferguson is going to need some help to try to knock off a fellow world champion. Turn card now. 7 of spades, no help to Chris.
Ferguson needs a jack to knock out Varconi.
River card is a 4, and Varconi will get the check mark, and Chris Ferguson will double up Team Varconi.
Might need a ruling here. Don't know if you can lean across the rail to give a massage in Clark County.
On the E-Trade tournament ticker, you see the growth in the starting fields of the main event. When Barconi won it, there were 631, followed by Moneymaker's year, and then the Moneymaker effect all the way up to last year, almost 9,000 players. Back to action at table 2 post-flop. Mike Matusow with a pair of kings. He has a huge lead on Randy Lowry, who is stubbornly holding on to his suited 8-6. Turn card is a jack. No help to Lowry. Matusow picks up the check mark.
Matusow has a remarkable streak going. Since 1999, he's made at least one World Series final table every year. He has not made one, though, in 2007.
Lowry checked the turn.
Check.
And Mike checks also. River card is a queen. King's up now for Mike the Mouth, and a straight draw on the board.
Lowry with 8 high.
And he's going to bluff at it, 2,500 into the pot.
2,500 with no hand. He is trying to swaggle Foose the Mouth, trying to bluff off some of his chips. Mike the Mouth is familiar with that maneuver.
I wonder if TJ's figured out Lowry.
Well, Matusow is worried that Lowry might have made a straight, and the Mouth doesn't have a whole lot of margin for error with his chip stack.
Boy, Lowry has really put Matusow in a tough spot. And Mike gives it up.
Boy, the Mouth is disgusted. Not nearly as disgusted as he would be if he saw Lowry's hand.
God, I play bad.
Tough times for Mike down in the mouth, Matusow.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Welcome back to the Rio and our featured table. We have three-way action going to the river. Scott Kilcullen has the nut flush draw. Bruce Buffer, second nut flush draw, but drawing dead. Randy McKay has a flop straight and is sweating the river card big time. And here is our river card. It is another spade, so Buffer and Kilcullen with spade flushes, but Kilcullen's is best and earns the check mark. Kilcullen checks.
Very cagey there with the nut flush.
Hoping somebody else has a spade.
Well, Bruce does, and it's a bad spot for him, as you know.
And he bets 4,000.
McKay and his straight disgusted.
Put any more spades out there?
Yeah, right.
Actually, they can't, because that would be a post-river card, and the river's the last card.
He folded his straight. Kilcullen now is going to move all in, which would put Buffer all in.
That's bad news for Bruce. If he calls here, he won't be rumbling anymore.
I got a call. You got the ace?
He does have the ace.
I knew it.
And Bruce Buffer has been knocked out.
Thanks, boys. Thanks a lot.
That's a shame. I think he owes me money.
Thanks, man.
Bruce Buffer will have to wait another year to KO a world champion. So we move away from our feature table to the outer tables, and in this edition of the Nuts, it's just the mascot.
Mr. Peanut, come here.
Wow, this will be a meeting of the minds.
Your sponsor.
What is Mike up to now?
What's going on, buddy?
That was reminiscent of Tyson Holyfield without the ear bite.
Well, too bad we just lost ring announcer Bruce Buffer. He could have helped us score that match between Mike and Mr. Peanut, but we don't need Bruce to tell us if Matusow is nuttier.
Clearly, without question, my good friend Mike Matusow is officially nuts.
Mini Mike sweated that coin now.
That dude is funny. Mikey has days where he's crazy and days where he's really crazy. He just hopes to wake up on any given day and just be crazy.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
I know Mike so well that he makes me laugh.
Three blind mice, see how they run.
I'm amazed yet nobody's punched him yet.
God shall give it, God shall take it away.
Mike is either like, I'm such a donkey, I'm such an idiot, I can't believe it, I'm the worst player ever.
I suck.
Or he's like, I'm the best player ever, I'm so in the zone.
I'm a superstar!
Matusow's nuts in his own way, living on his own planet, and I think that they just let him out for major tournaments and he flies down to Earth to play in them.
One time for Mikey!
You really see him go through the wild series of emotions that a poker player goes through.
No! Yes!
He is the guy that just lets it all out there, and I think that's wonderful.
He may be mad, but Mike's made the final table at the main event in 2001 and 2005.
Along with the Peanut, Mike has had some run-ins with a number of players. One of his more notorious moments came with Greg Raymer the year Fossil Man won the main event. And there is Greg Raymer moving all in with a straight draw after the flop.
I'm going to call.
And David Vino is going to call him with a set of sixes.
I'm going to get there.
Fossil Man has to get there, or his main event will be over.
Fossil Man on the ropes.
I knew you had a baby pair. I was hoping it wasn't that one.
Turn card's a deuce.
Raymer needs a king or an 8.
River card is a jack. And a pair of jacks, not enough for Raymer. Vino knocks out the 2004 world champ.
Raymer goes out with a touch of grace and dignity. Yeah, just like Matasso does.
Raymer had a pretty good World Series this year, making 2 final tables, but he goes away empty-handed here. Let's get back now to our feature table, where one former world champion is taking up residence, Chris Moneymaker.
Alon, in my opinion, the 3 greatest things in history: the discovery of the New World, the advent of hotel room service, and the main event.
Randy McKay with Queen Jack. He's a futures trader in Chicago, also a 1% owner of the Chicago White Sox. He limps in for 400.
This year's starting field is down from last year's record 8,700 plus, reflective of federal legislation that effectively shut down many online poker sites.
Barring that legislation, World Series officials were projecting 12,000 players at this main event. Moneymaker limped in with ace-deuce. Pat Harlow limped in with ace-7, and there's Dane Cass from the big blind. He has 10-3 and checks his option.
Moneymaker once said the main event attracts 200 world-class players, 2,000 real good players, and 5,000 complete morons.
4 to the flop. You judge them how you want. 3 jacks, 6. McKay with a pair of jacks. Moneymaker with a flush draw.
See, Moneymaker there sounded a little more like Mike the Mouth, to be honest.
Harlow checked. Cash checked. McKay with a pair of jacks. An avid bridge player bets 1,400. And Moneymaker is going to come along with the draw. Harlow gives up his hand. And Cass will fold as well. So heads up going to the turn. Moneymaker and McKay. Turn card is a 9. That misses both players. 3,000 from McKay.
Moneymaker still on the spade draw.
Chris Moneymaker is going to make the call.
That's 45. Oh, sorry.
Well, Moneymaker apparently put in too much. He was trying to call.
And he calls himself an accountant.
That's a raise, actually, Chris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chris had put in at least half of what would be a minimum raise, so they're going to make him do the minimum raise to 6,000.
So McKay would need 3,000 to call.
And now McKay can re-raise if he wants, and he has the added info of knowing Moneymaker only wanted to call there.
And that's what McKay does. He moves all in.
That's a costly error, and now Chris would have to put all his chips in here on a draw.
What a mistake.
Chris disgusted with himself. He will fold.
Throw the river out there if you don't mind.
He wants the rabbit hunt.
You want to see the river card? No, they're not going to let him.
Now the champ feels like a chump.
Can't count my chips out.
Chris over to talk to his dad, Mike, in the red.
You can be sure you were pretty well beat, I think, Chris.
Huh?
I think you were pretty well beat there, I think.
Depends on the river. I got the nut draw.
That's why I raised. I didn't want to see the river.
Can't believe I did that.
McKay took full advantage of Moneymaker's miscue.
Wow.
Leaving the former champ steaming.
Where'd I learn how to count?
Just before the main event, there was another big event. The heavy hitters from Hollywood, the hardwoods, and everywhere in between showed up. They came to see, be seen, and have fun playing poker. But it was not just fun and games. There was more to it than that. Don Cheadle and Annie Duke organized the charity poker event, Ante Up for Africa, to raise money and awareness for the humanitarian crisis in Darfur.
A lot of times people don't get involved in stuff because they just don't know about it.
There's so much money in the poker world. This is a community that really needs to do something.
We believe that we're picking up speed and we're just trying to keep the momentum going.
Dan Shack and Brandon Morin tied for first and donated all their winnings to the cause, which collected nearly $750,000. One participant there was Shannon Elizabeth.
I'm off the market, Shannon. Damn, what was I thinking?
Shannon is looking to enjoy the same type of World Series glory that actress turned poker pro Jennifer Tilly has.
Ken wins another pot.
Yeah, I've got a long ways to go to rebuild my empire.
But it looks like the empire of her boyfriend Phil Locke's crumbling. He's heading for the door, Norman.
This time it's for real. He is out of chips.
I can't go home because Phil would be too depressed. So I have to be here for a long time so he's in a good mood when I finally get home.
It's up to Jennifer now to bring home the bacon. At another table, we find actor Jason Alexander with 2 pair 5s and 10s, jousting with poker pro Phil Gordon, who leads with trip 10s.
This is a mismatch. Phil must be 1.5 feet taller than Jason.
River card is a 5, and Alexander River's a full house.
Oh, jeez. Boy, Phil had this hand nailed. He had flopped top pair and then made 3 10s on the turn.
Gordon first to act. And his set of 10s are worth how much? $2,100. Now back to Jason Alexander.
As a rule, poker players belong in a card room. Actors belong in the green room.
He's going to raise it to $6,000.
Oh, that will rock the pretty boys world.
Now Phil's going to reconstruct the hand.
He's got to figure out what Jason has. What can he have?
Got a 10.
You're not allowed to say what your hand is.
Got 10 with ace 10. Pocket fours.
Phil calls. He's not going to like this.
Ace 10.
Nope.
Ah! Wow.
That is ugly.
You guys friends, man?
Not anymore. He's not my biggest fan anymore. Wow.
If Celebrity Poker Showdown were still around, I don't think Phil Gordon would allow Jason Alexander back onto the show.
So a nice win for Jason Alexander over Phil Gordon.
He's steaming, but he just got married. That should make him happy.
Back to our featured table over the Milwaukee's Best Light Party platform. You ever been invited up there?
No, me and parties don't mix.
Chris Moneymaker, like everyone else in this room, fighting for survival, including the new face here, Joe Graziano, a 52-year-old amateur player, Oregon businessman known as the Onion King. He has Queen Jack offsuit.
Does he make onions?
He grows onions and sells onions and cooks onions.
Well, Chris Moneymaker had never even heard of Texas Hold'em before he saw Rounders in 1998. He used to lose a lot of money betting sports and playing blackjack, so he switched to poker.
Graziano raised it up to $1,500. From the small blind, Moneymaker with ace-queen of spades makes the call. These two will go heads up to the flop. And the flop is queen, ace, 10. Moneymaker with aces up. Graziano with a pair of queens and a straight draw. Chris checks.
Ace is up, worth a sip of water, but not a bet.
Graziano checks behind him. Turn card now. An 8 of hearts. Graziano now with 2 ways to make a straight. Moneymaker going to bet $2,500.
Well, I didn't say I had nothing.
Graziano a little bothered by the bet.
And he'll call
Says
it.
You can't hit nothing you call?
I said I didn't say I had nothing.
Oh.
I just checked.
Conversations would go a lot smoother if they weren't wearing earphones.
River card now is a 6 that misses Graziano, giving Moneymaker the check mark.
I think that's a fairly safe board for Chris to fire out a bet.
And Chris does fire $3,800.
Graziano just with the pair of queens. But he might not be a believer in Chris Moneymaker.
I thought you said you didn't have anything.
No, I said I didn't have much. I got a call.
He does.
I got top 2.
Top 2's good.
And top 2, aces and queens, wins it for Chris Moneymaker.
Chris checking the flop made him more money on the turn and on the river. Who says this guy can't play?
Nice hand.
Thank you.
Take it easy, Chris. Enough's enough.
Got your wish. Yeah, dude. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, the nod of approval over to Brandy Moneymaker, Chris's sister, and his dad.
Moneymaker's father gets mad at what the poker blogs say about his son. So does my dad.
On the E-Trade tournament ticker, we see how first prize money has grown from $30,000 in 1971 to Moneymaker's $2.5 million to Jamie Gold's $12 million last year. At an outer table, we find a man who made such a great run at last year's main event, Alan Cunningham.
I'm sitting next to Alan, you know. I'm learning, man. He's good. He's my mentor.
I asked Alan to be my mentor. He declined.
I taught him how to do that.
Alan won his 5th bracelet this year, but he's looking for his first main event title, as is Phil Ivey, who's involved with a hand with long Wynn. Ivey flopped a pair of kings. Wynn hit 2 pair for the lead, and Ivey moves all in after the turn.
This is not good. Ivey's going to need a club or a king.
The river card. 5 of spades, and your man is gone.
Are you kidding me? I knew he wanted to play golf today. It's over between us, pal.
And it is over for Phil Ivey in the 2007 main event. At table 2, Mike Matusow is facing a raise from Rob Preston. Preston made it 1,200 to go with pocket jacks. Matusow looks at his young opponent and pulls the trigger, all in with pocket 3s. It would cost Preston $88.50 to make the call.
I call it.
And he will make the call. This is the degree all-in moment. Mike Matusow at risk and trailing.
The mouth ain't roaring tonight.
They've been lucky to me before.
Oh, Matusow's going to have to get lucky here to overcome the pocket jacks of Preston. All right, here we go. Matusow all in. Here's the flop. Queen, deuce, 9. Nothing in there that helps Mike.
Not meant to be, boys and girls.
It is looking grim for Mike Matusow.
Turn card now. 10 of clubs, that's no help.
The mouth is going to need a 3 and a 3 only, or he is out of here.
And now the river card, it's another 10, and Preston earns the degree check mark, knocking off Mike Matusow.
Matusow's best moment today was with Mr. Peanut.
I suck.
Piercing self-analysis from Mike.
Play bad, you get what you deserve. I played bad 3 hands. I got what I deserved all 3. Take care, you guys.
Mike Matusow flames out in the 2007 main event.
The Degree All-In Moment is brought to you by Degree Men. More power than you need. One day you'll need it. The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Back to the Rio, and TJ Cloutier has moved all in, pushing in post flop with a pair of jacks. Josh Spiegelman leads with pocket queens. TJ check raised all in.
It's a good bet.
I can beat 2 10s, that's all. I got a jack.
Spiegelman calls.
Queens.
Queens generally by a long shot. This hand was named after me.
I didn't know that. Jack 9?
Yeah, 3 times in 1 year he flopped a straight flush with that hand.
It should be called the TJ Cloutier.
Turn card is an ace.
That's no good.
That's no good.
TJ Cloutier is going to need a jack or a 9, or he is out of here.
Now the river card. Oh, he got it!
Oh, that is.
He got the jack!
Back in the ball game. That's why they named it after me.
Yeah, I guess so.
Spiegelman thinking of other names for TJ right now.
TJ doubles up.
Check my ass. I got to gamble with it.
So while TJ and the thousands of others inside the Rio toil away for endless hours striving for the main event bracelet, there's another breed of competitor vying for pride, glory, and the illustrious Prop Bets bracelet.
I had home court advantage. I no longer have it.
Daniel got a little early, and I think we're going to punish him at the more athletic events later.
I've never kicked a field goal in my entire life.
I'll be surprised if he makes the first one.
Yeah! I love the noise it makes when it does.
Yes! Wide left! That's money!
He's not a coordinated athlete. This could be very, very bad for him.
They don't know this, but I have a secret weapon in this event.
Yeah, we heard Billy got a coach.
One of the best kickers in the Arena Football League. Spent about 3 hours with him. He taught me everything I need to know about field goal.
Oh. And Tony.
Are you all right?
That's up. Oh, no!
Are you all right? He rolled his hamstring. Guys, he's hurt, for real. Who did that?
Billy's just playing for pride.
Actually, I think they need to be massaging Billy's face, his leg, or his self-esteem.
Did you see the spiral that intern threw? What an arm.
Nothing crazy first day. This is the get your feet wet day.
Billy has one cash in the main event in 2001.
Man, look at the Rio. It's Grand Central Station on steroids.
Oh, there you go. There's a Canseco effect. Back to our featured table where Chris Moneymaker has been having an up and down day so far. Blinds at 200 and 400. There's Dane Cass, a 39-year-old amateur player from Boonville, North Carolina.
Plays in a home game tournament twice a week with 30 or 40 players. That's a far cry from 6,400.
He raced it to 1,700 chips with King Queen.
Juan, you know why the main event is called the big one?
Why?
Because it's the big one.
Big, yeah. Kilcullen, ace-9 of clubs, makes a call. Folded around to Moneymaker, ace-10 offsuit. He calls from the big blind.
Since Chris won the main event, he's cashed only 3 times at the World Series.
Ace-Queen 5 in the flop. Moneymaker with top pair and a better kicker to take the lead.
2,000.
Cass with a pair of queens bets 2,000. Kilcullen with top pair and an inferior kicker calls. And Moneymaker calls as well. 3 players to the turn. It's a 9 and Kilcullen takes control with aces up. Moneymaker to act first. He has a pair of aces.
35.
3 bets, 3,500.
3,500 to Cass.
Chris likes his aces with a good kicker. But as you mentioned, Kilcullen's made aces up.
That's too much for Cass.
There's my nemesis.
Moneymaker says, I have a target on my back. Everyone wants to bust me. And Chris's nemesis right now has him nailed.
Moneymaker and Kilcullen heads up to the river card. River is no help to Moneymaker. Kilcullen gets the check mark. Chris checks this time.
6,000.
Kilcullen's going to make it 6,000 to stay in the hand.
What do you have, man? Ace Queen? I think you would have raised that. You miss hearts?
Chris thinking out loud, trying to piece together the hand.
Why so much?
It's not much, but it's more than a third of Chris's stack.
We're not going to be friends no more? This is sick. I should never have been in this pot. I'm going to kick myself later.
Chris calls it. Kilcullen shows the winning hand.
And Moneymaker showing the frustration of running rough for a while.
So Kilcullen, the latest player to take a swipe at Moneymaker.
And I just misplayed it so bad that I can't even see straight anymore.
Chris continuing to have trouble in the main event.
I'm mad at myself now.
He's now down under 10,000 chips.
The Nets, brought to you by Planters, celebrating 100 years of fresh taste. The 2007 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, your best bet for great taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by Degree Men, more power than you need. One day you'll need it. And the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino, home of the 2007 World Series of Poker.
Back inside the Rio, and with this session beginning to wind down, Norman, we're finding first-timers still alive are realizing that stamina at this time of the night is a critical part of poker. All right, let's go back to table 2, where TJ Cloutier has moved all in with a pair of 6s against the pocket jacks of Stephen Cho with 1 card to come.
TJ needs an ace or a 6, or that elusive main event title has to wait yet another year.
And the river card, 7 of spades.
All right, good luck, everybody.
And TJ Cloutier is gone.
It was fun.
The main event title has been the holy grail for TJ.
That is the one big item missing from his poker resume. So while Cloutier takes his exit, we go to the outer tables and find that Amir Vahidi has been knocked out. We saw Vahidi knock off Jose Canseco. Now World Series rookie Kevin Ferry has knocked off the seasoned pro Amir Vahidi.
See, this is a bad part of a poker. I'm out of here.
I'll bet your Canseco's waiting for him outside.
That is a nice chip stack of the world champion from 2000, Chris Ferguson. Meanwhile, his tablemate Robert Varconi just doubled up. Olga on the rail, rooting him on.
You know, if he were a gentleman, he'd get her a chair.
How'd you like to be a rookie at this table with 2 world champions sitting around you? That would be very cool. Back now to our featured table, and the former world champ is out of smiles and running out of chips. You don't have to be a Tennessee accountant to know that Chris better improve business or he is gone. Kilcullen on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam with ace-9 of diamonds. He's going to limp in for 600.
Chris says he lost about $40,000 over a 3-year period when he first started playing poker. He started to turn it around just before the 03 World Series.
The only way I can beat you in hands is get you out before the flop.
A raise to 3,000 in an attempt to do that.
There you go, you 2 again.
Maybe I can beat you one time tonight.
But he didn't get rid of Kilcullen.
Chris with a weak ace.
The flop, and there's an ace for both players, but Kilcullen's better kicker makes the difference. And he checks, as does Moneymaker.
Chris figuring he's slow playing his pair of aces right now.
And the turn is a bolt of lightning for Moneymaker, who hits aces up. Kilcullen comes in for 2,500.
What goes around comes around. This time it's Moneymaker with the aces up. Payback time for Chris.
You got the best of me, sir.
All in for Moneymaker. It would cost Kilcullen almost 6,000 to call.
How much?
Almost 6,000 to call.
He can't hear you.
Oh.
He can hear the dealer. Kilcullen's got to figure out whether his pair of aces are good.
Can I say I beat you once, please?
You probably will. How much?
Moneymaker has been reduced to begging.
I enjoyed playing with you guys.
I don't know now. Now you're talking too much. Now you're talking too much.
I can't be quiet now.
I think Chris is trying to talk him into a call.
Tell me what you have, I'll tell you what to do. You got a flush draw?
It looks like he's got Kilcullen a little flamooshed.
You sure you want to do that?
I think he's doing a reverse psychology thing, but I don't understand non-reverse psychology, so I'm not so sure.
He could put Moneymaker on the edge of elimination, and he does with the call. And Moneymaker shows the best hand, but we still have the river card to come.
Don't give him a 9 this time.
Kilcullen's aces and 9s took Chris down earlier.
Let me get you one time.
Good hand.
Don't say that.
Kilcullen needs a 9 to knock out Moneymaker.
The river card is a 5, and Moneymaker does survive. A huge sigh of relief from the 2003 champ.
Very good.
Gotta get lucky every once in a while. That was a beautiful turn card.
It's been a roller coaster ride all day for Chris.
See if I can hold on to these chips this time for a little while.
Chris Moneymaker's arch nemesis just became his saving grace in the nick of time.
That's how you do it, big dog. The freight train's finally on track, baby.
Jamie Gold. Boy, you gotta love an ace in hand number 1.
Yeah, hits the ground running here. First action, his first hand defending the title, he raises.
500.
Ace Jack of Hearts makes it 500.
Jamie last year was chip leader over the final half of the main event, which is a long time, and he knocked out 7 of the other 8 players at the final table.
The flop now, 4-8 tray. That misses both players. Hogo still good with the 7s. Gold checks, and a check from Hogo. Turn card, 4 of spades, pairs the board. No help to Jamie Gold. He needs it right now.
Jamie checks, and he checks out Hogo.
600.
Raise.
Jamie's going to raise it up. Makes it 2,100 total.
Jamie sensing weakness from Hogo.
Yeah. Got Hogo thinking about it.
Jamie likes to eat and drink healthy when he's in the main event.
This is gonna blow when I lose the first hand.
The Jamie Gold Talk Show is now on the air.
Hogo makes the call of 1,500 more.
Maybe Hogo has been studying Jamie's talk.
Another 8. Hogo picks up the check mark. He can only lose the hand by folding. Jamie with ace high. He's going to fire 3,500.
This is the very first hand of Jamie's 2007 main event, and he's in the process of bluffing off more than 1/4 of his chip stack if the 23-year-old calls him.
I got you. Just don't raise, please. I don't know what to do.
I'm not raising.
It's just a call I'm worried about.
Just call. Oh.
Jamie picking up where he left off last year.
You must have known that we've seen all your antics from last year.
Exactly, so I'm probably bluffing, right?
So you're doing all the same antics as you did last year.
Well, they've got TV in Copenhagen.
And they're watching the right shows.
Okay, I'm curious.
Good
He's
call.
going to make the call. And Hogo sees he made the right decision against the world champ.
And a stumbling start for the world champ.
Well played.
Thanks.
Well, Jamie had to know the other players would be looking to take him out, but losing 6,000 chips on the first hand of your defense, probably not part of the year 2 plan.
Norman, every main event winner comes away with 3 things: the most coveted bracelet in the game, a whole lot of cash, and a full year to bask as the reigning world champion of poker. Unfortunately for Jamie Gold, the afterglow from his victory last year has not been so bright.
Frankly, Jamie Gold's been an unpopular champion. He didn't endear himself to many with the way he acted around the poker table or with the subsequent lawsuit in regard to his main event winnings. So now I think he just wants to be a good poker citizen and would love to quiet his critics with a strong showing in this year's main event.
I'm already the short stack.
Jamie's put himself in a hole early.
So no back-to-back for you this year?
Oh, no, I'm going to win it.
Jamie's never been short of confidence.
If you think I want to be out of here quickly.
Now, do not count him out. We learned last year things just seem to go right for Jamie at a poker table. Meanwhile, at our other featured table, table 2, Phil Hellmuth still missing. That's his big blind.
Takes Phil a long time to shower. He's a tall man. He has a big head.
Is it Phil's blind, is it? Yes. Can I go all in? Sure. I'm all in, Phil. Where's Phil?
Then Mark is having a little fun with the absent Phil Hellmuth. At another table, we find Daniel Negreanu in the field today, and he's facing a bet from D. Dang.
I'm surprised Daniel's here already. What's it, raining outside? He couldn't play any golf?
He's so interested in what I'm doing over there.
Daniel had checked the action over to Dang.
I'm all in.
Ooh, got serious quick. And Dang folds immediately.
Yeah, lots of bluff. You really think I'm going to check raise the field on a bluff? My goodness. Yikes.
Dang looks like he thought he might.
I was scared he had 6-7. I had a 7. Like you were. And I couldn't beat 3 5s either. But I could beat 3 3s. What do you think I had? Huh?
Pocket jacks?
Figure it out if you're a smart guy.
Queen 4.
Yeah, right.
So Negreanu making some noise here, and Dang reading a poker book.
Harrington on Hold'em, great book, but I don't think there's a chapter in there on Daniel.
You should be reading Daniel's blogs. All right, we move across this immense poker room. Let's go back to our featured table to Jamie Gold. Early action, but Jamie already looking to rebound.
What do you got, a whole buffet here? Yeah, I got the blueberries. No, you got a whole bag full of stuff. Yeah, just in case. You got the whole buffet. I thought I might be here all day. Maybe not.
Jamie calls blueberries brain food. Last year he had blueberries, a bran muffin, and carrot juice every morning of the main event. He also would order eggs and not eat them.
Jamie Gold with deuce tray of diamonds.
He did a lot of damage last year with baby suited connectors.
He's going to raise it up 3 times the big blind to 300. Michael Rosenthal lives in Las Vegas, plays the ponies for a living.
You don't find a lot of those people around these days, Lon. You think poker's tough? Try beating the ponies.
He raised it to 1,300, back to Jamie.
Gold's been a lightning rod for criticism.
Well, Jamie was sued by an associate for half of his main event winnings last year. They eventually settled out of court. Jamie paid an undisclosed amount. He did make the call. They go to the flop, a pair of trays for Jamie Gold, but still trails the jacks of Rosenthal.
I don't know how anyone beats the horses, Lon. It's like drawn to an inside straight all day.
Rosenthal bets $1,750, and Gold will come along with those trays.
Jamie taking a good look at Michael Rosenthal, and so do we.
6 of hearts on the turn. Straight draw now for Gold.
Let's put it all in. Let's make it easy.
Nope, just $2,750. Jamie doesn't like that.
Why so small?
Well, Jamie wondering if Rosenthal is stringing him along here.
And the answer?
Why so small?
Yes.
Jamie got a piece of the flop and picked up a straight draw on the turn, but he really can't feel too comfortable.
All right.
He calls.
Jamie bluffed off 6,000 that other hand.
This one of us is going home.
He's now called off 6,000 more here. Maybe he wants to go home.
Another jack, and that is a set for Rosenthal and the check mark.
There you go.
Now he goes all
that's
in.
A bet. That's how you play.
Jamie folds.
Nice hand, sir.
Thank you.
I wish you did it on the turn so I could get away.
You would have been going home.
No, I wouldn't have called. I could have gotten the wins, and I wish you would have done it so you get me off the hand.
More than half of Jamie's stack now gone.
Keeps putting himself in harm's way and might be time for a shift of strategy to defend his crown.
The 2007 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, your best bet for great taste. Miller Brewing Company, and in part by E-Trade. It's easy, it's extraordinary, it's E-Trade. And the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino, home of the 2007 World Series of Poker. The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Back inside the Rio, thanks to the KFC Snacker Cam. You can see many of the players in today's final session of day one. After tonight, the overall main event field should be reduced to about 2,000 players. Once again, there's Daniel Negreanu jousting again with D. Dang.
1,200. Is that what the books told you to bet? I bet you the book would have told you, seriously, no offense, it would have told you to bet like 1,800 or 22. Seriously. Check chapter 4, it's in there. You bet too small. Bet like 18 or 22.
I wasn't bluffing though.
No, I know. That's the whole point. If I got a hand, you want to get some value. If I had some 1,200, that's not enough. You got to make me pay. Bet like 2,000. Trust me, it's in the book. I'm not lying to you.
Thank you. Appreciate the advice.
You got it.
You know, Lon, I tried to read that book. Very few pictures.
D. Dang will take the chips and the advice from Daniel Negreanu. Let's get back to our feature table. As we pass over table 2, we see Hellmuth is still missing, and Jamie's going to welcome a new face to this feature table. It is Steve Zolotow.
Hello, Steve.
Steve has 2 World Series of Poker bracelets.
You're in no danger. I lost half my chips already.
Then I'm in big danger. It means you'll be desperate and hungry.
Jamie nonchalantly making light of his tough times here at this featured table, but this whole year actually has been filled with tough times for this world champion.
Jamie Gold has done it!
You always figure when you dream about it that everything will be perfect, but nothing in life is perfect. Nothing in life doesn't have a downside to it.
Bruce Crispin Laser is suing Gold, claiming that Gold entered into an agreement to split half of his winnings with Laser.
I was never not going to pay him. I was trying to figure out how to deal with the taxes. I'd never won $12 million before. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle it properly. Next thing you know, I'm getting sued, and I just thought, this is ridiculous. Someone that I was going to give an extraordinary amount of money to made me look bad. I was upset, but it was never the deal that people made it out to be. It looked like it took 6 months. It actually took 1 day. First time we sat down, boom, it was settled. We're both very happy and satisfied, and it's exactly the way it should have been, and I'm the only one who lost on that deal. People love to create stories where there are no stories, and people feel that I should have been a better ambassador of the game. I wasn't around as much as the past champions. My dad was dying. Sometimes you have issues that are larger than poker. My family comes first, so I don't regret it. It's unfortunate that a lot of people have a lot of issues with the way that I live my life, but I can't imagine my life being any better unless I still had my father with me. That's it. Other than that, how can my life be any better?
The other issue with Jamie last year was how he stretched and broke the rules at the main event. He exposed a whole card in one instance, told opponents what his hand was other times. Other players could have called him on it. If tournament officials had seen it, they could have penalized him. He's been warned this year, and everyone's watching him.
Action back to the featured table now, and Francois Constantine from Paris, France, with Ace-7 of diamonds. David Korofman with King-Jack of diamonds.
Limping in is contagious, Lon. A couple people do it, and then you do it because you're getting a good price, and the next person gets a better price. Who wouldn't want to see a flop for cheap? America loves a bargain.
Aaron Bean limped in with Ace-4 of spades. You saw Jordan Smith with King-Jack. He limped in. Steve Zolotow's not going to limp in.
He passes on the bargain.
Steve doesn't pass on much. This is his 30th World Series. Over to Jamie Gold. Jamie with 5 deuce.
In the small blind.
Call.
Cost him 50 more, and
of course
he'll limp in also into Michael Rosenthal in the big blind.
Of course, he's going to play for free. You know how much racing forms are and parking at the track? This is a deal.
6 to the flop. Everybody needing a lot of help to make a hand. And the flop is Trey 5-4. Golden Rosenthal hit top pair with straight draws. Rosenthal has a better kicker.
Almost everyone got a piece of the pie here.
Gold is going to bet 500. Rosenthal's going to stick around for 500.
It's still happy hour prices.
Constantine with a nut flush draw calls. Korfman with a second nut flush draw. He puts the 500 in. Bean and Smith give up their hands. They missed it. 4 to the turn.
The bet's getting a lot of respect.
Respect has been eluding Jamie since he won the main event.
Can we do?
Turn card now, and wow, that's an amazing card. Jamie hit his straight, 6-high straight. Constantine with the ace-high nut flush. Korfman with a second nut flush. Rosenthal with a 7-high straight.
That's an incredible card. It's like the magic bullet.
Gold will check. Rosenthal checks his straight. Constantine, you see, gets the check mark. He's got the best hand. He checks.
He plays it very cagily.
Korfman with a king-high diamond flush and no chance to win, bets 1,200.
Can you blame him?
And Gold gives up his straight.
Jesus.
He saw what was happening.
He's not happy about it.
Rosenthal, though, with his straight, will call the 1,200.
A good read by Jamie. He hits a straight on the turn, and it's the 4th best hand.
And Constantine will just call with the nut flush. So we just lost one player. 3 to the river card. It's a deuce. And there's a straight on the board now. And Rosenthal will check his 7-high straight. Constantine checks. Korfman's the man who's been the man of action, bets 2,000. Jamie bemoaning his luck so far.
I'm down to like 6. It's fine, dude. Wait till you're fine.
Action to Rosenthal.
He calls with a losing straight.
Yeah, he calls the 2,000. Constantine finally into action.
On one hand, now I got to make sure I don't get unlucky on one hand. This is ridiculous.
Well, it's ridiculous when he had like 37 million chips last year after 1 hour.
Constantine bet 5,000. Korfman made the call. Let's see it. Everybody's got a hand, but it's Francois Constantine with the best hand and a nice pot.
Well, Constantine played the table to a T, slow plays, and sachets his way to a nice pot.
Jamie gave up more chips. He has to be very careful with every move he makes from now on. And meanwhile, out in the Rio drop-off lot for 11-time bracelet winners, it looks like Phil Hellmuth might finally be here, Norman.
He needs a stretch limo to have room for his ego. Well,
what is he wearing?
Lord help us.
Back inside the Rio on the E-Trade tournament ticker, we look at the main event by the numbers. The average age of main event champions is 37, the oldest ever. Johnny Moss at age 66. Phil Hellmuth, the youngest ever, and there is the 11-time bracelet winner.
I'm sorry, he looks preposterous.
Don't worry, boys. I had a car accident yesterday.
I thought he only takes limos.
Right into the pole, right? You're going to be wearing the helmet too? You're going to play as well as you drive?
Well, Phil was planning on making his entrance via a stock car this year, but during practice yesterday, something went terribly wrong.
So I just took off, and I'm zipping around the parking lot, going faster and faster and faster. I'm just having a great time, and I feel in full control. I feel like I'm impressing everybody. And as I turn around and start heading this direction, I have it just gunned. And I start to do fishtails, and I'm out of control, and I see this cement kind of round, cylinder in front of me, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. And I'm like, what just happened? I went from impressive to a jerk in one fell swoop. I thought I looked really cool when I was in control. And I looked really idiotic when I crashed. It's kind of like when I'm playing poker. Maybe there's a parallel between the two.
I share your pain, Phil. Mine's from watching that video.
Well, Phil still feeling the effects of that incident in the parking lot. But it is the main event, so he'll put all pain aside. Van Marcus from Australia finished third in a pot limit Omaha event here.
Marcus says he has never worked a day in his life. Sort of an honorary McCarran.
9-7 of spades. He raised it to 1,400. Hellmuth with pocket fives.
Marcus cooperating with Phil early. Phil wants to see his chip stack.
And Phil will make the call. And these two now will go heads up to the flop.
Phil actually still looks a little flamooshed from his Tony Stewart stint.
Flop, a couple of kings and an 8. Hellmuth still leads with the fives. Marcus didn't get any piece of that, but with a continuation bet of 1,500.
Phil on top of it with an immediate call.
Turn card now. 10 of diamonds. Marcus with a straight draw.
3,000.
And he keeps firing. 3,000 now.
Well, Phil does not like risking big chunks of his stack early in a tournament. Even if he thought he were ahead here, he might fold. He's a small ball savant.
All right, my turn from now on.
Yeah, he likes to avoid
Now
big
we
pots
play.
early.
And he gives it up.
Yeah.
Good bluff.
We're always playing Phil.
I thought you were bluffing. Good bluff. I had you almost dead.
Almost.
Phil should put on his helmet. They're gunning for him.
Hellmuth hits an early speed bump here at the main event. Phil is tied for most World Series cashes in a single year with Humberto Brenes, Chris Jesus Ferguson, and this guy, Michael Binger, who finished third in the main event last year. Binger has so far cashed 8 times in the World Series. If he finishes in the money here in the main event, he will break the record.
He went 23 straight tournaments without cashing before the World Series, got hot at the right time.
His highest finish during the bracelet events this year was third place. He's earned over $400,000. And another record breaker out there is Jack Urey. They call him Jumpin' Jack, who at 94 is the oldest person ever to play in the main event.
Hey, if the late George Burns could work stand-up until he was almost 100, Jack Urey can certainly sit down and play poker at 94.
He loves to play poker. There's his grandson also playing in the main event, Seth Harold.
And like grandfather, like grandson, they both drag in a pot.
Seth and his family own a beauty academy. His wife is expecting their first child. Good luck to them. Over to another very interesting pair out there today, Hal Labarsky and Jason Williams. And you will hear Jason calling out the board to Hal.
9-6, 2 clubs with the 6 of hearts. You got a check from seat 9.
Hal is legally blind, and Jason assists him by telling him the cards and the action around the table. Hal lives in Las Vegas right now. He's 45 years old. He has retinitis pigmentosa, which is an inherited disease. Throughout his late teens and 20s, his sight became progressively worse. He says that playing poker again has brought his life back. He's real excited to be here at the main event.
Hal had stopped playing cards because of his vision problem, but a Mirage poker room manager said he could play there with someone helping him, and that brought him back to poker.
Hal's presence demonstrates again why the World Series is such a unique and terrific event. That's a great story. We wish Hal all the luck. Of course, one of the big stories during the main event last year was the relationship Jamie Gold had with his dad. You heard his dad had passed away. The difficult times for the Gold family continued when his mom had surgery to remove a tumor. We're happy to say that Jane Gold has recovered completely. Pocket eights for Stevie Z. He's going to raise it. 800.
Zolotow, part of a parade of great players who have come out of the Mayfair Club in New York City. Jamie, one of the many good players who've cut their teeth at the Commerce Casino in L.A.
Jamie's going to raise with pocket queens to 2,000. Rosenthal on the button, folds.
We're chasing away all our customers.
Look at what I got, you know. What am I going to do? I can't take any chances anymore.
Jamie Gold getting short on chips. Of course, his mother, you saw in the audience here to support him. And she's playing a bigger role this year because she's actually playing in the main event. She did survive her day one session. Stevie Z will call the extra 1,200 to go heads up with Jamie Gold to the flop. The flop is 10 tray jack. Gold's queens hold up.
Stevie Z won his first bracelet in 1995 in Chinese poker. Chinese poker was a bracelet event for only 2 years.
He bets.
I guess that's it.
Enough to put Jamie all in, and Jamie calls.
You got me crushed.
A good assessment from Steve Zolotow, and Jamie Gold about to get some new life.
But Jamie cannot sit easily, nor can his mom, Jane, with all his chips in the pot. If Steve gets lucky, the defending champ is gone. 7 of diamonds. Gold still good.
Who's calling for the 8?
Well, Stevie Z hopes the poker gods are calling for an 8 or a 9. An 8 or a 9 knocks out Jamie Gold.
A river card is another 7. Jamie Gold survives to double up.
Jamie Gold avoids a short day at the office in his title defense of the main event.
Good hand.
Thank you.
For Jamie Gold, Stevie Zolotow came to this table just in time. Boy, that was a shot in the arm for Jamie, who appeared to be on the fast track out of here, but instead, the defending champ has some room to maneuver. Back at the Rio from earlier sessions, over 1,500 players have already made it to day 2. Everyone here trying to do the same, including Daniel Negreanu.
It's going to take a second right here.
Does the Harrington on Hold'em book say you think better with your sleeves rolled up?
Why does that scare me right now?
The 4 of hearts always scares me, but I sleep with the lights on.
Daniel trying to figure it out, as only Daniel can. He's going to make a call. And Daniel set of 3s, beats the 2 pair.
Nice, man. Well played out.
Well, the women are rooting for Daniel. You know, I have a last longer bet with Daniel on our marriages. I guess Daniel's got to be a 3-1 favorite on that one.
Daniel's best main event finish was in 2001. He finished 11th. Back to table 2.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Wow.
Didn't take long for Phil Hellmuth to get his motor revving.
I limped in. Raise, I re-raised 3,000 and got 2 callers.
Lonnie limped in, there was a raise. Phil re-raised 3,000 and he got 2 callers.
His ace-kings against strays and 4s, and Phil takes lead with a king on the flop.
That's a good-looking flop for my man.
Check.
Michael Graves checks his trays. Hellmuth's going to bet 2,000 with his kings. Chung Chi-hung with his 4s comes right along. Graves folds.
What do you got, queens?
Something.
Yeah.
Turn card is a jack, no help to Chi-hung.
Check.
Hellmuth checks.
Check. Check, check.
And Chi-hung also checks. River card now is another 4, and Chi-hung hits the full house.
3,000.
Phil bets 3,000 to Chi-hung.
Who got lucky, but Phil had checked the turn. He let Chi-hung get there.
Chi-hung is going to move all in. He has Phil covered.
And this is not going to be pretty, Lon. I hope we don't have an audio problem on table 2.
I mean, every year doesn't have to be this way?
Every year.
What do you have? I have a big hand. Can you beat aces? Yeah?
Call me. All in. No person.
Phil wishes he were back in that car, heading for that cement cylinder.
That might be less painful. This would be for all of Phil's chips to call.
Well, Phil's going to dodge a bullet here. Some players would have gone broke on that.
Chi-hung will take the pot. Uh-oh.
Slow play pocket 9s against 9-7. A guy goes crazy. Ace-king, hit a king, and I got to lay it down. I mean, what is this?
Phil spilling his guts in that slick racing suit all over that nice felt.
Some of the worst players I've ever seen.
You guys are all done, seriously.
Look, I'll tell you something. I just want, all I want is to have, I don't even want average cards. A little below average is fine with me. I'll end up with like 80,000. But this is bull.
His I just need below average cards to win riff is always one of my favorites.
Well, we know Phil thinks he's the best player in the game, but so does this guy.
Watching the best in the business, baby.
Teddy Monroe.
The Iceman. I'm going to freeze everybody.
The Iceman is an established cash game player. He says during his playing days in Atlantic City, he played a lot with a great Phil Ivey. Teddy's not going to play that hand, but he is playing in his first main event. And you know, Jack Urey's also playing in his first main event. His other nickname is the Snake.
You're in every pot now.
Oh, wait a minute. I want to play.
Oh, Jack had the cards. Nobody wanted to play with him, and he collects another pot.
Hey, I got to do this all over again.
Jack has been playing poker for 80 years, and along the way, he's played with some of the best the game has ever produced.
I made a living playing with all those world-class players long before they ever won the world championship. I played with Doyle Brunson, Pug Pearson, Johnny Moss won it 3 times, and he wasn't even a good player. He's a stinker.
He's the best player in this poker tournament right now. If you don't believe me, just ask him.
I've had 3 times as much experience as anybody playing. I've never sat in any game that I didn't think I was the best player.
He's got a memory like a hawk, and he plays 12 hours every day. He plays too much poker.
Nice hand, sir.
I sure love Vegas. There ain't nobody have more fun in Vegas than me.
It's been the time of our life. Everyone's been so nice to him, and he deserves it.
Jack once won a $500 bet on the Indiana Pacers while in the intensive care unit. The man loves to gamble. He could use a nap, though.
There is the 2007 main event bracelet, which the players making up the second largest poker field ever are competing for. First prize, $8.25 million. Jamie Gold just pulled himself off the mat a moment ago. Let's see if he can keep the momentum going. Jesper Hogo with King 7 of hearts.
Raise.
He took Jamie for $6,000 on the first hand of the night. He raises it to $650.
Stevie Z is a pretty good sports bettor. He also plays bridge, backgammon, and chess well.
Jamie Gold with suited 7-6. He's going to call the raise. Rosenthal, King 9 of diamonds.
Lon, you cannot win at horses. Now maybe this guy wins and maybe 37 others nationwide.
From the small blind, he makes a call of $550. Constantine will fold, so 3 players to the flop.
Jamie looking to jumpstart his day.
And now the flop. It is 5, Jack 10, all hearts. Hogo flops the flush, and he earns the check mark.
Jamie is not going to be able to jumpstart his day on this hand.
No. Rosenthal checked a straight draw. Hogo checks also, as does Gold. Turn card, deuce of hearts. Another check from Rosenthal. And Hogo.
He'll keep sitting on that flush.
Jamie Gold takes a stab at it, 600.
Jamie was the last to act, so he'll posture that he has the flush.
Rosenthal gets out of the way. Hogo, we know, has the flush. Just a call.
And he checks in the dark, trying to set Jamie up.
River card, 7 of spades. That gives Jamie a pair of 7s.
Don't bluff. Well, if I bluff, you call, right? You want me to bluff. You want me to bluff. That's how you make your money. I have a flush. Really? I wish I did.
Hogo giving Gold a taste of his own medicine. And again, that is against the rules. You cannot tell people what your hand is.
Jamie bets 3,000 though. Not believing Hogo. Hogo calls.
Good call.
Boy, this fellow watched a lot of TV last year.
You didn't just have a flush, you had the king. Nice. Nice hand. You talked me into it.
That was the plan. Talk you into it.
That was good.
I knew you wanted to as well.
Of course. I said well played.
Thanks.
Oh, Hogo doing his best Jamie Gold impression right there. Talk the defending main event champion into surrendering more of his increasingly rare chips. Back at the Rio.
So sick.
Phil Hellmuth getting low on chips, and guess what? Not happy about it.
I just know I'm going to pick up kings and some idiot's going to play ace-deuce. I just know it.
Phil's people skills not his strong suit, and now one of these idiots wants to beat him.
We will keep our eye on Phil and keep you apprised of any Table 2 developments.
Look at these teeming mobs here at the Rio. Are they giving away something?
Yeah, $8.25 million is top prize. And let's catch up with Michael Binger. He's put out a big bet to Prahlad Friedman.
Friedman, one of the best in reading situations. Hey, you know, Prahlad, I don't think Michael Binger anteed.
Prahlad is going to make the call. Binger turns over a straight and takes down a big pot from last year's 20th place finisher.
No, really, Prahlad, I don't think he anteed.
Poker is fun for everyone except Prahlad right now. Binger came to the main event last year as a theoretical physicist, got a big dose of the poker life, and decided science can wait.
Sometimes I do look back and I'm like, wow, what if I had just done this differently?
Jamie Gold eliminates Michael Binger.
If this card hadn't fallen, like, wow, I could have been world champion.
What a main event for Michael Binger.
We need more physicists in poker.
For the past year, it's been pretty much full-time poker, and I was very anxiously looking forward to this year's World Series, and when it got here, I was just totally immersed in it and excited to play as many tournaments as I could. I've got 8 cashes so far, and if I can cash in the main event, then I would break the record. It's in the back of my mind. It's not really affecting much. I mean, far more important to me is just I have my mindset on making the final table again. Just gonna try to have fun and enjoy the experience.
Binger made one final table this year, and he got down to the final 3 tables in 4 other World Series tournaments. And yet every time I see him in a card room, I figure he somehow got lost.
If Michael does manage to finish in the money in the main event, he will set a new record for most cashes in a single World Series. Back now to our featured table. Jamie Gold just trying to collect chips. Jesper Hogo on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam. Pocket fours. Blinds at 2 and 400, and he limps in.
Jamie really doesn't lack for confidence. He says that he believes in the next 10 years he can become one of the best players in the world.
Jack 9 offsuit. He'll make the call for 400. Rosenthal with ace deuce.
In the small blind.
Another 200 gets him in the pot. Francois Constantine now, 7-5. He's got a big blind hand. He'll check his option. 4 players going to the flop. 8-10. King. Gold collects a straight draw. Hogo's pocket fours are the best hand right now. Rosenthal checked. Constantine checked. Hogo with 1,200.
Good call.
Gold will stick around.
Hogo and Gold maybe on yet another collision course.
Yeah, they are. Rosenthal and Constantine get out of the way.
Hogo seems like he has Jamie in his sights today.
Turn card is an ace. No help to Jamie Gold.
Check. This would be a good spot for Jamie to semi-bluff with that straight draw, but he's been running rough today.
Both players check to the river. 5 of clubs misses Gold. Hogo has the check mark. He can only lose the hand by folding, and he checks.
Well, Hogo is looking at 5 overcards to his pair of fours.
Yeah. Gold bluffs at it. 2,500.
You've tried to bluff me so many times.
Well, how could I possibly not be bluffing now? You think I'm ever going to have a hand against you?
Probably not.
No way.
I can beat Jack 9.
Did he say I can beat Jack 9?
Yeah.
That's uncanny.
You saying I should throw it away?
No, I would like you to call.
If he calls here, Daniel Negreanu should leave his wife and take this guy home.
I think you got it this time.
He does
You're
fold.
Right.
Jamie Gold dinner theater befalls another customer.
Wow, Jamie never really showed any particular strength in that hand before the river.
Well played.
No, you got me again. You just didn't make the call. But you had me. I'm very impressed.
The 23-year-old Dane has made some terrific reads.
Gentleman's been outplaying me all day.
Hogo missed an opportunity to put another hurt on Gold right there. Perhaps the champ has got his groove back.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Today was the day the big names came to play. Some are doing well, but many have made their way to the rail, including Chip Reese, Freddie D, Eric Lindgren,
Poker sucks,
and Robert Williamson.
That's why I say every year, Sunday chicken, Sunday feathers. I had my chance at a lot of chicken, but I kept coughing up feathers.
They may be gone, but you can be sure they're already thinking about next year. And we take a look at our E-Trade tournament ticker, a little main event trivia. 3-time champions in the main event. Of course, Johnny Moss and Stu Unger. 2-time champs Brunson and Chan the last to repeat.
Gold trying to repeat here. When he took the chip lead last year at the main event, he decided to play a lot of hands and, quote, do everything I was not supposed to do, end quote. And it worked. Today, not much has worked.
Jack 9 offsuit for Jamie. Calls the big blind to 400. Rosenthal with pocket fours. And he too will limp in.
Francois Constantine used to play percussion in a marching band. That's too much walking for me.
Pocket eight. He's going to raise it up to 1,700. Jamie Gold now with the raise to him.
Pretty motley hand.
He makes the call, committing the extra 1,300, as does Rosenthal. 3 to the flop.
Jamie's going to play 3-handed with Jack 9 offsuit. Good luck.
There's the flop. It is 5 deuce ace. Rosenthal picked up a gut shot straight draw. Jamie Gold checked. Rosenthal checks. Constantine with the best hand right now with the 8s checks as well. Another ace on the turn. Jamie Gold once again to act first. 2,000.
The world champ with a out of position bluff. Sometimes it works.
A little ushka there to Rosenthal.
There was an ushka. But Rosenthal, oblivious to his immediate surroundings, will make the call.
Now Constantine, with the best hand, also just comes along quietly. River card 9 of diamonds, and Gold pairs his 9 to earn the check mark. Wow, he stuck around and it paid off.
And now he checks, so I'm confused as usual.
But Rosenthal comes alive with a bet of 7,500.
Rosenthal bets about 2/3 the size of the pot.
Constantine gives up his 8s.
And now Jamie with a dilemma here. Yeah, he made aces and 9s on the river, but this is for almost half of his chips. So if he were to call and were to be beat, he'd have maybe 8,000 or so left. And we haven't seen Rosenthal splashing around with a lot of weak hands.
Jamie's thinking, I wish I'd made that bet, and he does fold.
Rosenthal muscles the table with the worst hand.
And Jamie folded the best hand.
How many aces are in that deck?
I don't think anybody had one.
You didn't have an ace?
I didn't have an ace.
No. But I mean, if you have an ace? No, but then I won the hand. I mean, maybe you had 3-4 or something, but I don't think so. Me.
Jamie very vulnerable with that stack. He's starting to play these hands like he's on thin ice.
I didn't have enough chip. I can't take that chance.
Jamie had all the chips last year. He's not used to sitting behind no chips.
The defending champ requires a big stack to play his game. Right now, he's feeling very constricted. All right, from our featured table, we go to table 2. That's the big blind of Phil Hellmuth. The only difference is that's all Phil has. He's all in. And Phil's been called by Ashura Irasinger.
Hellmuth has 2 overcards.
This is our degree all-in moment. Phil Hellmuth at risk.
This could be the 3rd year in a row I went broke with ace-queen before the flop.
Phil in a pretty good mood, but he's got a driver today.
All right, now the flop. Couple of jacks and a 9. Nothing in there for Hellmuth.
Phil, still the youngest winner ever of the main event in 1989 at age 24, running out of cards.
Phil caught a queen.
Oh, he got a straight flush draw, though.
That's true. Irasinger with a straight flush draw.
If you're going to hit it, at least catch the 8 of clubs or king of clubs. That would make me feel better.
Irasinger needs an 8, 10, king, or club to knock out Phil Hellmuth.
The river card now is a club, and Hellmuth is gone. Irasinger earns the degree check mark, knocking off the king of Texas Hold'em.
Another anonymous hopeful ends Phil's day.
But an unusually quiet exit by Phil Hellmuth, Norman.
Yeah, well, he limped in here today, and he's pretty much going to limp out.
One day he runs into a concrete pillar, and the next a crushing club flush. Phil Hellmuth was not at full power today.
The Degree All-In Moment is brought to you by Degree Men. More power than you need. One day you'll need it. The 2007 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, your best bet for great taste. Miller Brewing Company, and in part by Degree Men. More power than you need. One day you'll need it. And the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino, home of the 2007 World Series of Poker.
Back inside the Rio, where we have a hand in progress at the featured table, Steve Zolotow moved all in pre-flop with pocket queens for about 17,000 chips. He was called by Mark Tucker, who holds pocket aces, and ace came on the flop.
Zolotow will need runner, runner, queen, or runner, runner, straight to stay alive.
Turn card for Zolotow is a 4, and Zolotow drawing dead now. Tucker will win the hand and eliminate Stevie Z.
You better make a comeback. You know. Now I see why you raised so much.
So we say goodbye to a 2-time bracelet winner. Mark Tucker from Seattle, Washington added a goodly bunch of chips to his stack, and no doubt Jamie Gold has some chip envy at the moment. He's now under 5,000. Let's get away from the feature table, go to the outer tables to check in on Hal Lubarski. His reader in the back, Jason Williams, may be looking a little worried. Hal has moved all in, but he gets no callers.
I'd show you one, but he'd make me show them both.
Hal and Jason originally met at the bar in which Jason is a bartender.
I got you.
The two of them started talking poker, and eventually Jason and Hal teamed up, and they have become quite a team here. Hal collecting some chips. Elsewhere, over to Jack Urey.
How much? You gotta go all in. Good luck, Pop. Good luck.
And Jack is going to move all in.
With a rooting section.
I got him straight. Turn it up.
Jack says he's got a straight.
Sixes.
No straight, actually.
Sixes are good? Sixes are good! Yeah!
He wins anyway!
You go all in, you misread your hand, and you still win. It's good to be 94 and alive.
I got outlasting.
Oh, that's funny.
That was great.
This table better be careful. You don't get nicknames like Jumpin' Jack and the Snake without being a real player. Back to our feature table, and Jamie Gold, the defending champion, trying to get something going. Tucker, speaking of nicknames, was given the nickname Possum Fat by his grandparents who taught him the game.
Do you have a nickname dictionary or encyclopedia?
A7 offsuit, he limps in. Jamie Gold, Queen 9 of spades.
I'm all in.
And Jamie's going to move all in, and it's with Queen 9, the same cards he was holding when he won the main event last year. Couple of folds behind him, over to Hogo now.
Hogo has done a lot of damage to Jamie today.
Hogo folds.
I'll call you.
But Tucker will call. And Jamie Gold, all his chips in the pot, and he's behind.
Trying to become the first back-to-back main event champion since his mentor last year, Johnny Chan, did it in 1987 and 88. Not looking good for Gold.
The flop. Couple of sixes and a king. That's pretty empty for Jamie Gold.
Raymer had a deep run after winning the main event. Hashem had a deep run after winning the main event. Jamie Gold looking at a short stay at the moment.
Turn card now is a 7. That pairs Tucker, but doesn't really change anything.
Well, for Jamie Gold, Lon, he's going to need a queen or a 9, or the 2006 main event champion can say goodnight to 2007.
And now the river card. It is another king, and Tucker's going to win the hand. Queen 9 fails Jamie Gold this year. So goes his defense. Jamie Gold will not repeat as main event champion.
Last year, Jamie was as good as Gold. This year, he'll have to settle for a kiss from Mom.
Played like crap.
No, you played good.
No, you
played good.
No offense. You don't know how I played. I played like crap.
Jamie's upset, and we'll have a new world champion. So there will be no repeat.
We're going to blow when I lose the first hand.
As Jamie Gold's play did little to impress anyone, especially himself.
I was very disappointed with the way I played today. I just played terribly.
So Gold joins Phil Hellmuth, who crashed and burned yet again. But other big names are riding smoothly, including Daniel Negreanu, Carlos Mortensen, Gus Hansen, Gavin Smith, and Michael Binger, who will continue his quest for a record-breaking cash. The duos are indeed dynamic as Hal Labarsky and Jason Williams advance. And Jack Urey and his grandson Seth will be back too.
All right, you made it to the next day.
So over 2,300 players move to day 2. For Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. Thanks for watching the World Series of Poker.